Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the GT4 Rookie and GT4 Open Series. Back at it again, round one here tonight at Barcelona. I'm Mike Nause. Joined with me in the booth tonight is none other than the co-commentator of the year, Stephen Tomazic. Welcome, Stephen.
Hello, welcome everybody to another year and another year full of racing. It's going to be a fun one tonight. We have both the GT4 rookies and the lovely Open Class series going on for us tonight. And I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of action.
Absolutely. We have a jam-packed grid here tonight. 23 rookies taking to the field here for race one. It's going to be a 20-20 format in terms, what does that mean? 20 minutes in terms of in terms of a race one, and then 20 minutes in a race two. We're going to have a qualifying session here at the start, and then no qualifying session in the middle, if I'm correct on that one. I know we're changing things up a little bit here in this season due to the fact that it is a little bit more of jam-packed, as of course we have a longer GT4 Open race coming up, and of course that is due to our Patreon champions. Thank you so much, of course, to all our patrons. More on that a little bit later. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I see we got Doc Milwee and Raleigh Dutchy joining us here already as we get ready to head on into qualifying. The cars are roaring around this track, 2.9 miles here at Barcelona, and why don't we hop down into it? As there is nothing on the screen, now we can see the queue here as the cars going to be coming around the track here. Current pole position being held by Aaron Miller in the Viper Racing. Definitely one of the drivers to keep an eye on here tonight. 155.2 behind him. One of the newer drivers on the field. We have Mason Percheleski? I know it's a Polish name, and I saw some arguments in chat earlier. I need to go back and find that conversation, as Bailey is now going to light me up.
Perkalski.
Okay, yeah, that looks right. Perkalski. Yeah. I think I'm trying too hard on that one. The Polish-American driver, I remember, like I said, I saw in chat earlier, I was tagged in a little bit of a discussion about hard-to-pronounce names, and, well, Mason here just so happened to be involved in that conversation. He is behind the wheel here of the Martini racing the Porsche. Now, something that I need reminded on here, are we using a BOP in the GT4s?
I believe we are using a BOP.
It is not an LFM BOP because LFM doesn't have it, but we are using, I think, a different one. Now, if Eric, if you're in chat, I'd love for an update on that, as I probably should have done my homework a little bit. Hashtag bad commentator, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, we just had a change in the lead. JB Ruzic has just taken the pole position away from Aaron Miller, and he's 2 3/4 tenths up on that time. But
good,
plenty of time for these drivers to get final laps in, as we still have Aaron Miller out on the track, pushing to try and improve his lap.
And you say plenty of time left. We're down to 1 minute. Aaron Miller here, this is going to be his last attempt. He's currently looking about a tenth down on his delta. As it stands, though, the time he needs to get the hammer down here, because he's going to be behind 2 tenths. Ruzic will not have another chance in the pit lane. Aaron Miller, it's going to be all down to him at this stage, although we say that Mason here might be one of the drivers to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, Mason is right now on a heated lap, but about 6 tenths up on his time, dropping just a little bit, but I think he's still got pace in that Porsche to get it around the track and potentially improve on his position.
Oh, but he drops 3 tenths there around that horseshoe corner, now heading into the final chicane, which of course was removed from the Formula 1 track layout. A controversial choice that was made there, but personally I think it will increase the racing. Of course, the Formula 1 season starting up very soon. I think everyone in chat probably looking forward to that. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Not going to be pole position. Mason, third fastest it's going to be, as we see now the odd number plates coming out onto track, which I'm noticing quite the disparity in terms of odds versus evens in terms of the amount of drivers on the field. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but it does help out these drivers a little bit, allowing a little bit more time for rubber to form on this track to give these second split drivers a much better chance at improving lap times and getting better lap times than the group that went out before us.
Alan Calvello comes to the line in P3, does overtake the likes there of Mason. Perchileski, is that what we decided on? Vadik, we need your help desperately. Welcome, first off. Mic on a new mic. Yes, how do I sound, Vadik? I need a little bit of input. I'm glad you're actually here on that one. Definitely need a few things still tweaked, but we're working on them as time goes. And thank you for noticing.
Are sounding great, Mike.
And Vadik, how do we pronounce Mason's name here? Perchileski? Is there Perchileski? Is that close? Love to hear the input there from Vadik Udstitsiev himself. Potts Weaver in the Potts Autosports McLaren going to be the first out on track here tonight. And Steven, you want to take us on here for an onboard?
Give me 1 second. Potts Weaver. All right, we are right now coming down the long straight, coming out of New Holland, heading all the way down track, gaining as much speed, getting ready to hit this braking point at the 100-meter board, coming into Elf. The Elf structure is a right, left, right. And the right is coming around right now, going through the turn of Renault. Renault is a very, very long, sweeping right-hander that tends to throw you out. But after that, you come into Respal. Respal is a tight U-turn, coming right back around, heading back towards the inner part of Renault into the turn complex called Seat. Seat is another left-hander, which opens up. You want to get your car onto those rumble strips, cut across of that little kink, and then back out wide to make sure that you set yourself up for Worth. Worth is a very, very tight left-hand turn, and then going up into the Compass turn sector. Compass is a high-speed right-hander that sets you up into a long straight down into... I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Down into the end of the back straight, you're coming into this left-hander. This left-hander can really throw you off as you're coming around that corner. And if you'd send all 4 tires over that red rumble strip, you are donezo on your lap. But we have Sadabadell right now, coming out of Sadabadell into Europe car, which is the final chicane complex of this track, which is Chicane Rock. And once you come out of Rock, you don't want to run it too wide, otherwise you hit that big sausage curb on the exit as you come into New Holland and back down the straight to finish the lap.
Lovely onboard there from Steven Tomazic. Thank you for that. And a lovely lap as well from Potts Weaver, slamming himself to pole position by 30 thousandths of a second. Great start to the season here for Potts. And some input there from Vadik. It is probably said something like, and I'm going to say this wrong again, but we're going to have to get through this one a little bit. Is it Pajechalski?
I think it's Pejhalski. Pejhalski.
Pajechalski.
Pejhalski, yes.
That's going to be, Pajechalski. All right.
Pejhalski. Pajechalski. Skay. Yeah, this one's going to be butchered tonight. We'll learn it next week.
We're going to have to find a nickname, man. This one's going to need a nickname. I'm just going to be honest. Mason, if you have any nicknames, please let us know if you're sitting around chat. Pajechalski. That's not, wait, hold on. Pajechalski. Is that right, Vadik? That actually kind of sounds right. Or is that just my, that's probably not right. Let's be honest. Piashalski.
Piashalski. Oh, we have Scott Sullivan improving his lap. He's about 5/10 up as he's now coming into a Europe car. Ooh, and just as I say that, he loses the rear end of that Mercedes coming into the chicane rock.
Gonna have to try that one again. Running out of opportunities, though. Lap times
He's
here in the
still
150s.
up almost a tenth, though, on his time.
That's impressive. That's, well, wow, okay. Yeah, fair enough. He's gonna have another attempt at it. And that is apparently correct. Sent a voice message to confirm. Let's go. Oh, I can't. Hold on, Vadik. You're so quiet.
Piashalski.
Piashalski. Yeah, Piashalski. That's not too bad.
Piashalski. Okay.
Thank you, Vadik. Of course, voted the most... What was the word? I don't want to mess this word up. I did last time. Not seasoned. The most spirited. There we go. The most spirited driver award, of course, being given there to Vadik, and he's showing himself just that.
Yeah, so looking at the times, it's not looking like we're having anybody really improve on Potts Weaver's time, as he's still out and still improving and has gained more space between him and Ruzic.
Jeff Franks taking the gamer line there momentarily, decides to send it a little deep. We'll have to try again on the next one. Here we go. We got more pronunciation here. From a friend. So this is from Mason. Well, yeah, but we need a last name, unfortunately. This is from Mason himself, apparently. No, from a Mason's friend, apparently. Pierchowski.
That's how I was pronouncing it before, Pierchowski.
Great job, Steven.
Okay, so we have 6 more pronunciations of Mr. Mason's last name.
We're going to go with Pierchowski because that is from the friend himself. Vadik, I still appreciate it. Oh my goodness, everybody running wide here tonight. This is a struggle to keep on track. Also, Tony Danzig joining us. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, Holly. Thank you guys so much. I'm sure we'll see, if not one of those drivers, both of them a little bit later on here tonight.
I see you down there, Holly. I didn't forget about you. How you doing tonight, buddy?
As you were saying, though, nobody really matching the times here, Potts Weaver, just yet. Potts kind of on another planet currently. 3.5 tenths ahead of the likes of Melanson.
Yeah, but Melanson just skyrocketed himself past Ruzic, though. And he's still got one more lap, well, one more attempt, but it doesn't look like he's really improving. He went wide going through Renault, so I think he lost all the time that he could have. And this is just going to be an in-lap into the pits.
Isn't that just Renault, Steven?
Renault.
I think that's Renault. I think that's Renault. Anyways, welcome, Bailey. Bailey, we've now gone through the chat endeavor that you put me in earlier, about a 10 minutes trying to pronounce the likes of Mason's name here. And we have settled on the likes of Pierchowski. And Neo Kabuki, thank you so much. Welcome back to you as well. And missed the Saturday race. Yes, unfortunately, my computer would not turn on for that race. So it's a long story. But, oh no. More pronunciations.
Hershelsky. We need to hear this from we need to hear this from Mason's mouth. We cannot take the word from chat, as we now have 7 pronunciations for his name.
Because now LFP is agreeing with the likes of I don't even know what... My brain is broken at this stage. V, welcome. Now V. Oh, Parashelski.
Okay.
Parashelski.
As qualifying has now ended, we have a few more drivers coming around the track. Seth Lincoln being one of them, who's improving almost a second on his previous lap time. As he comes across the line, moving him up into P16.
Next to the line here, we have Usiban Mbanesk, the Swiss driver. Comes across the line in P8.
Can we get 7 pronunciations for that one?
That one I feel like I'm not far off, though. Like, I don't think I'm right, but I don't think I'm wrong either, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Like, that one's kind of... I need to put a little bit more... I feel like there's some Afrikaans in there, in Usiban, in the last name there, and I'm not able to put the Mbanesk onto it. Mbanesk. Chat? No. Next to the line, Scott Sullivan, last but not least, comes P7, does overtake the like of Usiban there. And that will be our qualifying session there come to an end. Lovely view.
Banner in the
I know, right? Gotta love ACC sometimes. As we have it, though, before we get into this, I suppose we'll have... Thank you very much to E. Ryan Racing for the follow. Lizzie also, welcome. Lizzie finishing in the likes of P21 there. Nicely done. Also, V joining us. Thank you so much, V. Welcome. As we have it, let's get on in here and meet our drivers. Starting off in P1, it is going to be the Potts Autosport car of Potts Weaver. The number 13 lined up next to him will be Matt Melanson, the number 33 on row 1, the Black Falcon team Identica in P2. JB Ruzic in P3, lining up on row 2 with Aaron Miller beside him in the Viper Racing in the number 90. Alan Calvello comes across the line in 5th fastest with Mason Kalski behind in P6. Scott Sullivan, 7th quickest with Usiban Mbanesk in P8. With Will Mentors behind in P9. The Camaro, number 20. Lined up next to him, it is going to be Lucas Caneda. Rounding out our top 10, the number 90 Bug Esports GT4. Omar Perez going to be behind him in P11 with Jan Rodrix in P12. Devin Anthony, 13th fastest in the Noobs RS 664 with Joe Kalial in P14. Jeff Franks, 15th quickest in the number 73 Love Wins Racing with Matthew Roden in P16, the 509. Seth Lincoln, the 101 McLaren Racing, going to be 17th quickest with Rally Dutchy in P18, the Mad Fox McLaren. Drew Freiberger in P19, the number 419 with Mike Fisher behind in 20th. Lizzie Alicea, the Puerto Rican Noobs RS junior driver in P21. Unfortunately, don't have deliveries there tonight, with Rocco Luciano behind in 22nd. Last but not least, in the back of the grid here, it is going to be Jose Guzman, the 129. Now, I don't expect him to be there for long. We will most certainly see. We have V joining us. Lizzie, welcome everybody. First race here of the season. Now, Steven, this is going to be an absolute jam-packed one. We have a lot of people unfamiliar with each other on track, and we're going to see how this is going to unfold tonight.
Yes, there's a lot of new names, and that means there's a lot of new talent. So these drivers now need to learn who these new drivers are, and also come to grips that they are considered new drivers to them. So everybody's pretty much on the same page, and you just got to go with it, and you just got to learn the track, learn the driver.
Absolutely, and the cars are now underway for the outlap. Bailey, none of that. We'll see. Oh my goodness, Holly. Also, we have Apri, 22, missed out unfortunately on the first race, but will be here for the second. Looking forward to having you here, Apri. When you do join in, make sure you come on in chat and say who you are in game, give you a little shout out. Love to see the new drivers here, especially quite a few new names on the field, and that's what really excites me the most.
Yeah, a lot of new names. We're seeing a lot of new names also in the GT4 series, which is a pretty good segue right now to go over our current calendar.
Not a bad shout, Steven. As we have it, of course, taking a look here, we'll take a brief glance here at what we have upcoming. And of course, we have quite a bit on the calendar here. The GT4 Rookies and the GT4 Open is tonight. We have a 2020 doubleheader ahead of you for the rookies. And after that, 45 minutes of racing with the GT4 Open. Of course, on Wednesdays, we have Syntho Drive. That's going to be AI racing on Assetto Corsa. And a new addition to our Wednesday calendar is going to be the West Coast Championship. That'll be starting off on February 7th, 2020 doubleheaders. That's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little late for you East Coasters. This is going to be a little more targeted to the people on the West that have those 9-to-5 jobs. Can't quite make it to that 5:30 start time. Also, of course, GT3 Reverse Grid going to be on the Thursdays still. Looking forward to that one with the Porsche Cup Championships and the GT3 Championship on Sunday. Of course, the GT4 Endurance Series, that's going to be once every month on the first Saturday of every month, and the special events Midnight at the Mountain and the Classic Car Cruise. All of these are going to be available over on SimGrid, link in chat. And of course, for our GT4 Patrons, you can see here, these are a list to all of our Patreon members. Thank you so much to all of them, especially the newer ones. I know James Reed, Jan Rodricks. There's a few others in there that I'm definitely missing. Those are just Jeff Franks as well, I know. Newer Patreon members, thank you all so much for getting on board. And your support really, we can't thank you guys enough. Thank you all so much. Shows us what we are doing is really worthwhile and makes us want to keep doing more and more, and that is why, well, we have so many amazing leagues that we're going to be putting on.
Yeah. And we're now starting to line up in our lovely 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as we're now coming through Rock.
And the drivers coming around the final corner here. Going to be a bit of a drag down to the first corner. It's going to be all about the exit here and who can get on the throttle early enough. Pottsweaver on pole position, Matt Melanson in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me tonight is Stephen Tomazic as we get ready to go green here for race 1 of the Rookie Championship here at Barcelona. 2.9 miles ahead, and it is green, and we can see the Porsche car behind pulling out immediately, trying to get a good run down the center. It's a pretty even start up at the front, though. Matt Melanson going to be under threat immediately. We're going to go 3 wide heading into the first corner here. It's going to need to be negotiated before we reach the second apex. Now, JB, in a bit of a sandwich here, is going to lose out. It seems the AMG on the outside going to take massive measures. Matt Melanson holds on to that position. We have Usaban and Alan Calvello getting involved there. Usaban managing to gain the position over JB there, and JB falling down the field.
Yeah, he's falling down the field, but we also have cars moving up the field as we have Umbansk right now. Umbansk, who's moved up 4 positions just off that start. But very clean coming through there, and not a lot of heavy action going on, but we still have another 19 minutes of this race left to go.
Yeah, so far so green as we have it. Scott Sullivan making some gains. We see a big concertina effect here in the midfield with Will Mentors getting caught up in that. Mason Pershelsky getting involved as well as Pershelsky here on the run. We're going to say this name a few times so I can try to get it ingrained in my brain, by the way. So let's Pershelsky here chasing down Will Mentors. Can Will Mentors hold off from Pershelsky? That probably isn't enough, but we're going to keep it. We have a full onboard lap. We'll get to that here within the next few. These first few laps, we want to be all good to go and full camera views as we have it. JB there going backwards again, drops off the side of the track there. I think it managed to hold on to the position from Scott Sullivan, but it's not looking good for Ruzic here.
Now Ruzic has now fallen back to 5th position, but meanwhile Umbansk is really pressuring the rear bumper of Melanson right now, and Cavello has unfortunately dropped out of that slipstream range to try and recapture this front pack.
Taking a look a bit further down here, we have Rally Dutchy up 2 positions, Mike Fisher up 3 positions. These two trying to work their way through the field together. Jeff Franks about even where he started in that P15, looking like going to be coming or pressuring the likes ahead here of Khalil. Joe Khalil. What did I say in the run-up to that name? I definitely didn't say Khalil. Apologies to whatever I did say. Also, Jan Roderick's making gains. Will Mentors falling back, but the switchback, the car getting a bit loose though, and still loose as he gets back onto the throttle. Is able to hold it though, but not quite able to gain that position back.
Nah, just that little bit of wheel spin was just enough to lose the momentum coming out of that turn, heading up into seat where he just could not maintain it, and unfortunately had to just slip in behind.
Seth Lincoln here having a lovely little scrap for P18. That's with Matthew Roden. Mike Fisher up ahead as well. Rally Dutchy going to be coming under pressure here, taking a little bit of a gamer line himself. Is going to gain some good advantage. That will most certainly be a 1 warning added on. You pick up 4 of those throughout this race and you will be having a trip down pit lane. No required pit stops here tonight, so you definitely don't want that.
No, and with this pit lane being as long as it is, it pretty much stretches the entire front sector of the race.
Whew. Very close. Matthew Roden gets out of shape there, and I think Rally Dutchy got out of shape, and Matthew Roden almost went straight into the side panel there of Rally. Is able, though, to keep it under control for now. Minimal contact. Potts Weaver setting the fastest lap here tonight. Quickly taken, though, by JB
Ruzic.
And up ahead,
we had Umbansk taking a look at trying to take that second position away from Melanson. Had the run coming up into the turn, but didn't have enough of the car ahead to really set the pace going into that turn.
Now, Hecken shoots, when you say Racer 3, do you mean position 3? Because if so, it's a good choice. Wow, as Umbansk goes way too deep and it maybe had a bit of contact there with the rear bumper of Matt Melanson. Matt not going to be too happy and also going to be a bit weary after that for sure.
Yeah, but they're now going side by side, going up in through the Worth turn complex. And this is now allowed positions 5th and 4th to catch up to them. So we now have a potential battle, a 4-way battle for P2 right now, as Umbansk is pulling a little bit ahead of Melanson.
Is able to get by and holds it for now. And I can shoot the number 20. So okay, thank you. Yeah, in the future, car numbers is going to be the most relevant, as we know, going to an ad and you can't hear us. It's okay. See, though, that there's a Prime game, and now's not the time to do the Prime ad when everyone's in the ad. Come on, Mike. The only people here are the subs. Anyways, welcome, everybody, and thank you all so much for being here. You guys are amazing. What a race it's been so far, and there's plenty to come. Jan Roderick's. This has been... I think this is really what's going to show this rookie championship. So far, so clean, but you can see elbows out as well. So a bit of both worlds getting involved here, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, super exciting, and we are only 7 minutes into this race. Almost 8.5 minutes into the... No, 7 minutes into this race. I cannot read time tonight.
No worries. The other full on-board lap, of course, that we had here was Joe Khalil. As we pop on board with Joe here. Yeah, Eric agreeing as well, as Eric on the not live stewarding side of things, but on the somewhat live stewarding side of things, I guess you could say. Yellow flags being thrown, though, as we mentioned that. It looks like it's going to be an unforced error there from Drew Freiberg, who is not quite having... Freiberger, who is not quite having the best race.
And it doesn't look like it's faring too well for Luciano as well. Luciano off into the barriers at turn 1. I wonder what happened there.
I don't know. Let's see if we can catch a replay of that, maybe, or you have that up on the mini. Lovely.
Yep, working on it right now.
As we can see, V go deep,
wide.
Oh, and a little
wide.
Bit too much speed on the sausage curbs there, and a bit too much throttle. And V takes a face full of barrier, unfortunately, and a punch to the face like that in a return to the garage. Very unfortunate. Hopefully, we see her back out on track.
Here's another one. Rally Dutchie went around. Let's see if I can catch this one now. He's coming through C. He's all by himself. So this is another unforced error. But coming up into Worth, as I was saying in the onboard, this turn can really take you out if you take it wrong. And it looks like he just, he sent it a little bit too deep into that first turn and unsettled the car. It spun him around.
And Mike Fisher with some sort of error is going to allow Lizzie Alicea through. Lizzie Alicea on a tear so far, up to P19.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good tonight. And hopefully she's able to catch up to the bumper of Seth Lincoln.
We have Lucas Caneda side by side with Jeff Franks. Jeff, I think, on the back end of this before we got into it. Lovely We Races 1 livery. Going to be attacking the Brazilian driver here tonight. And Laylee in chat as well. Just throwing energy the way there of Lizzie. You love to see it. Thank you for being here, Laylee. Lolly, sorry. I already know that. Lolly, thank you so much. Before Lizzie yells at me this time. Down the inside goes Jeff Franks. Can he hold on? Yes, he can. Lucas Caneda goes wide and isn't able to defend. Stop go 30 from Rocco Luciano. V, unfortunately, there tonight with a electric Porsche, it sounds like. No car sounds coming from that car.
Yeah, probably coming out of the pits, forgot to hit that pit limiter. You get a little flustered as you try to make your way back onto the track, and you just forget that the pit limiter is off. And unfortunately, we're seeing the effects of that as we now have that stop go 30.
Definitely a race to forget here for V. We'll be moving on into the next one and trying again, of course. It's a 2020 doubleheader. Plenty of action here tonight. Omar Perez just lost a position to Devin Anthony. I'm not sure there was too much of a fight there. The Mexican driver down a position, though, from 11. I think they started in 11th and hasn't quite had that opportunity to get the hammer down just yet.
No, didn't have the opportunity to get the hammer down, but he's keeping it solid and putting down some solid lap times. And he's doing pretty good as we potentially might have a fight for P1 as Umbanesk is moving up and is only a second and a half behind Potts Weaver.
Oh, Jose Guzman with a punch in the rear end there to Lucas Caneda.
Oof.
That didn't look that good from my point of view. Let's take a look at it from another one. This is going to be Jose Guzman behind. We're going to replay. And Jose with a bit of an overly, and maybe he didn't expect that early braking from Caneda, but regardless, that definitely is going to be on the likes there of Jose.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the stewards are going to be taking a deeper look into that one.
If I'm not mistaken,
going into the next race.
I don't think we're stewarding this season, unless Eric has changed anything. It is, of course, down to the honor of the drivers, I guess that's for lack of a better term, to report themselves, and go in there and own up to their mistakes, apologize to the other person. It's not about getting punished for your mistake. It's about just owning up that you did it and correcting it and not making it next time. Of course, that is what this rookie series is about. But as you were saying, Steven, that gap is slightly tightening. We see a faster lap of about a half a second last time around. With 7 minutes and a half left to go, it's definitely looking likely here for the Swiss driver to at least catch the back bumper of Potts Weaver. Now, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake, of course.
That is true, and there are very few overtaking opportunities here at Barcelona. Your first big opportunity is on the front straight going into turn 1. If you can get alongside and outbrake the car next to you going into turn 1, you can get around. The second one that is very predominant is in that back stretch. Coming down the hill going into Kaisa. Like I said, I don't really know the name of that turn.
Yeah, I'm leaving that one to you. I'm looking at it right now. I would have said Kaisa, probably. But I also don't think that would be correct, because I don't think they make that noise like that in the Spanish language, but I could be wrong.
And we currently have a battle, it looks like, between teammates, as we have JB Ruzic battling Jan Rodrix.
I'm presuming, I know Jan has been with us for a few seasons, but I'm pretty sure Jan is Dutch, the Dutch-American driver. And at JB Ruzic, I wonder if a similar heritage. Of course, sharing the same team. Well, Ruzic Racing and Baseline Racing, are they just sharing the same livery?
They're sharing the same livery with a different color scheme.
And a different name as well. That's interesting. So they're sister-ish teams. Call them long-distance sisters.
As we have Przhelski attacking the rear bumper of Mentzer, coming around Respol, now going into seat.
Przhelski, I think, is going to be a little disappointed with this race so far. Fell back 4 positions from where he started up in P6. Just had an abysmal start to the race and hasn't really been able to correct it since. Able to at least consolidate the pace, and has been able to keep it consistent for the past few minutes, past 15 or 10 minutes basically. But that start really what hindered him and put him back down into the spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, moving that far back, it does take a hit on your confidence on the track, but he's keeping the confidence up as he's really attacking for this 9th position.
Also, I missed it earlier. Thank you very much to Kinghead94 for the follow, and Ami cheering on Calvello in chat. You love to see that as well. Alan Calvello looking very strong in P3. Started in P5 and up 2 positions. Our biggest gainer, though, Jose Guzman, who, even with that little bit of a punt that we saw earlier, unfortunately, Jose, I think, will be feeling pretty bad about that one. Still, now 10 positions as we just watched him go from 9 to 10.
And looking at the timetables again, Umbanesk has caught up to Potts Weaver and is now in that slipstream. So we are definitely going to have a battle for the lead coming into these final few laps.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. Potts Weaver, I'm not sure he's had a race win in a while or ever, to be honest. It's definitely been quite a while since we've seen it. Potts Weaver, though, was he voted most improved or most, or was that Scott Sullivan? I should probably take a look.
Scott Sullivan. I believe he was not. Potts Weaver was nominated. Ooh,
okay.
As they are now bumper to bumper coming out of Campus.
And Eric Gakosian, some live, not stewarding, but live advice giving here tonight. Most improved was Holly. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. And thank you very much, Ami. Wow. No breathing room whatsoever given here to Potts Weaver, and Potts is going to make a mistake and allow Umbanesque onto the inside. That is going to be done and dusted for the lead of this race. Potts is going to try for the switchback here, and the McLaren is quick. McLaren is definitely quick. Hey, Eric, while you're here, what BOP are we using? Side by side, though, as we go down the straight, Potts Weaver is going to hold on to it for now. I surely thought Umbanesque had that.
Yeah, coming out of that final chicane complex, and Potts just getting a little bit off it has allowed Umbanesque to really put some pressure on, and that pressure is getting to Potts Weaver right now.
Eric, LFM doesn't have a GT4 BOP. Something else. I don't remember what it was. So I've forgotten. Anyways, Potts Weaver, one more lap to hold on. They added one last week? Oh. Well,
there you go.
I guess I'm wrong. Never mind. Potts Weaver makes a mistake again. The pressure is definitely getting to him.
Yeah, and this is now allowing Calvello to catch up to this pack, these two fighting. So now we have a three-way potential battle for the lead.
Alan Calvello smells blood in the water, but can he find it? In fact, I think we're going to have another lap here. We most certainly are going to have another lap, in fact. So Potts, he wishes the checkered flag would fall now, but no, he's going to have one more time around here. And we are, in fact...
Calvello got a little loose.
We are, in fact, using the LFM BOP. We were going to use the pit skill, so my apologies there, folks. Potts Weaver wide again, but carrying the speed here onto the straight. He might be able to hold on again, do similar things that he did last time, but he's on the alternate line. The inside will be had here for Umbanesque. Is going to have to go back into the slipstream, though.
Door. He shut the door on Calvello, who had the run on that outside line. And now they're going side by side. This is now a battle for position 2, and Calvello is ahead.
My goodness, Calvello, can he take this race win here tonight? If he can, that would be, well, something else, to be completely honest. Potts Weaver has dominated so far, took pole position in the qualifying, has held on to it so far, and has one more lap to go, about 2 miles left. We got cheers for Calvello in the chat. We got cheers for Potts Weaver in the chat. Who is going to take it?
And we also have cheers for Umbanesque in the chat. Ooh, as we have a yellow flag from Aaron Miller, and he's dropping down the field.
Oh no, if we can get a replay on that from you, Steven, that'd be lovely. I'd love to see what happened there. Very unfortunate. Aaron was sitting in such a good position at the start of this race in P4, and it just kind of fell off, and it looks like this is going to be an unforced error. You can see in the bottom right here. But for now, heading into the next best overtaking zone, Umbanesque onto the inside here of Alan Calvello. Oh, the switchback. Alan Calvello is going to run Umbanesque out of track. He holds on to the position there. The stewards may have to have a look at that, but of course there's no stewarding. Whoa. Potts Weaver looking like he is going to hold this due to the fact that these two can't decide who is going to take the race lead.
Yeah, and as they're coming around these final couple turns, it looks like Umbanesque might have the better run, but Calvello is defending and covering that inside line as they're coming around the final turn, and now across the line, Potts Weaver is our winner, followed closely by Calvello and Umbanesque.
Lovely finish there. The polystyrene board gets taken out for good measure. Matt Melanson comes across the line in 4th, Jan Rodrigues in 5th, JB Ruzic in 6th, Scott Sullivan in 7th, Matt Mentors in P8, Will Mentors, in P8, Mason Pershelsky in P9, and rounding out our top 10 will be Devin Anthony. The battle to the line here with Jeff Franks and Joe Khalil. Looks like Khalil does hold on.
Yeah, and our last to first challenger, Jose Guzman, starting all the way in that back position of P24, found his way up 12 positions up to P11.
Nicely done.
Not something to snuff your nose about, but that was a pretty good one. He's our biggest gainer. Oops. And unfortunately, the biggest loser of positions tonight was Aaron Miller, unfortunately, because of that unforced error coming around rest ball.
Yes, indeed. As we now wait for the session to transfer over here and the race to finish up, I think we're going to have a brief little break, which I think will give us some time for some Stream Racer. We'll see once the session rolls over. I'm not sure what we're looking at for intermission times here. The final driver is just going to be coming to the line here. But what a race that was, Steven, as we have it, of course. Potts Weaver on pole, Alan Calvello in second, and Umbanesk in third. Seems to be final driver now to the line here. And server restart is going to be incoming. Okay. So it is, in fact, Stream Racer time. Alrighty, everybody. Well, we'll get that booted up.
Yeah.
And for anyone that isn't sure what that is, then, well, don't go anywhere. If you have no idea what's about to happen, do, in fact, stick around, because it is something you probably haven't seen before.
Or if you've been here, you've seen it plenty of times, and we have a lot of fun with it.
And we are going to be starting a new year to that, per se. So we're going to be starting a little bit of a scoreboard from the start of this year onward. So any previous Stream Racer races, the results don't count anymore. So Steven, you are no longer a two-time race winner. Well, you are. I mean, that, you can't take that statistic away or anything, but you know what I mean.
Can't take my shoeies away from me.
No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't take your shoeies away from you, Steven. Yeah, Lizzie, I'm not sure either. I did download liveries tonight. Wilson here tonight as well. Welcome, Wilson. As we get Stream Racer ready here, Wilson, you're just in time. If I can figure it out. Why is nothing showing up?
Uh-oh.
It's, normally something's supposed to show up here. Don't worry, guys. We'll figure this out. We're doing it live, of course. Not everything can work the first time. This is how live TV tends to go, correct? Why doesn't it want to work, though? There's no maps.
Technical difficulties.
There's no maps. I don't know what to do. You guys, I mean, I know you guys can hear me flipping my settings around, but... Steven, am I missing something here? I know you can see what I see. I don't think I'm missing any. Oh, it loaded. Okay. It just took a second. There we go. All right. We're good. We're good. How are we looking in terms of time here, Steven? Have you been able to get in the server?
It looks like the server just went down for the reset, so we should have time.
About 5 minutes, I would imagine, at the very least. So in that case, we will head on down towards the Stream Racer scene. If you guys are interested, !race to join. Bam. First one in. And like I said, if you guys aren't sure what this is, all you have to do is have a Twitch account and you type !race. You will be plopped inside of this virtual queue and you will be put against all of these virtual drivers and will have to do absolutely nothing but sit back and enjoy. So definitely do join !race. We'll have about 2 minutes, about a minute and a half till I get rolling. We already got 10 people in here, 11 people, so we won't give it too much time. Cheers, everybody. As we get a little hydration in. Welcome everybody as well, all new racers and all new championship people. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us here. Well, we have 1 minute left. 1 minute on the clock. !race if you guys do want to place yourself into this session. And also, I guess I should also mention, while you're in the race, if you type !boost, B-O-O-S-T, you will go flying in the direction that you are traveling. So be careful with that. Use it wisely. But do use it, because it's quite entertaining. Especially if you're going over a jump.
And remember, there is a stream delay, so you might boost what you think is on a straight, but you might be going through a curve and you are rocketing off the track.
Yeah, it's about a 4-second, 3-second stream delay. It's not the longest, but there is a little bit of a stream delay, so definitely pay attention to the corners coming up, and as well as if you are behind, it's definitely going to be more useful to those drivers. But we have 11 people, exclamation mark race, last chance, but I think it's probably too late, and we are going to get into this. And V feels fast. Eric, you missed it. You literally missed it. As we get into it here, Steven Tomazic on pole position, and it's going to be a terrible start for Steven. Rally Dutchy is going to be challenging the lead immediately. Steven holds it for now as V, feeling fast, is going to be off and into the starting positions. Not quite able to take the lead just yet. Darren Thomas Snoopy firmly ahead as Canada doing flips and flops every which way and is going to get overtaken by Matthew 509. Wilson Fernandez, as we can get a grandstand view here, you can see what it's like from the perspective, and you get all the tall people in front of you as well when you're out in a sporting event. Darren Thomas Snoopy still in the lead of this race. Matthew going to be holding on for now as we come around the mountain bend. Matthew with a lovely apex. Wilson there, I think, clipped Neo Kabuki. The two teammates struggling here together on the track, or at least the two Brazilians struggling. I'm not sure. I think they're both teammates. Is able to make it through the hairpin, if you want to call it that. It doesn't really look like the closed end of a hairpin, if you ask me, but it's neither here nor there. Darren Thomas Snoopy with a heat-seeking missile straight into planet Earth. Matthew with a lovely jump isn't able to land it, though. And Darren Thomas Snoopy challenging for the lead. Oh my goodness. Matthew using his boost on a corner, and you can see what the detriment of that can be. V onto the outside. Everybody struggling with the red ramp and is not quite getting by at the fullest extent. Matthew has taken the lead, though, here I'm noticing. Darren Thomas Snoopy with a lovely boost is going to get by the Bullard, sneaks by, gets clipped somehow. Getting close to the line here. Matthew, it's getting very, very tight. Darren Thomas Snoopy needs to rejoin and avoid these tires. He doesn't do so, and that's going to allow Matthew to slip by onto the boost pad. One Bullard to negotiate. He does so, and Matthew 509 takes the win. Darren Thomas Snoopy looks like he is going to be up next, does negotiate the wall, and comes across in P2. Oh, here we go. I'm coming across for a podium. Nicely done, me. And Neo Kabuki, gets overtaken at the line by Canada. Tight margins. And V coming across the line with Wilson Fernandez and Doc Milwee. And Steven Tomazic, not really figuring out where he is on planet Earth, is going to come across for 9th. Well, we have two more battles going on. Vedika Tsitsiev and Rally Dutchy at the back here are going to be finishing up, and it looks like Rally will be coming across. No, he will. Oh, yes, he will, because Vedika is such a nice guy. He helps Rally across the line. Look at that.
Just another example of how nice Vidic is to his fellow racers.
Rigged. Love it. No, that's funny. What does the livery deep dive in chat mean? So livery deep dive is whenever we're in ACC, of course, I will just take a nice little spin around and take a look at the livery of your choice.
Alrighty, we have just started our lineup of racers on the track.
Alrighty. Alt F4 as we head back to the booth. And we will get into the GT4 winter race here soon enough, of course. I think I have the wrong B-roll in the background. It's neither here nor there. Winter rookies. And Somp, I think, cheering on here. His fellow Mexican driver. You'd love to see that. And as we get into it here, 2 minutes on the clock. We couldn't have timed that more perfectly. Let's get on into the session. As that's probably Steven's face on screen. Whoops. We're trying to do too many things at once here, everybody. This is, got about 50 things to do before we actually get on into this. but I can assure you we are almost there. Okay, now we're ready as we get into it here. Let's just double check that everything is good. Everything is great. And I noticed last time the funky beats were in fact a little bit quiet, so we're going to get a little more audio into that.
A little more oomph.
A little bit more. All right, here we go. As we have it, starting off once again in P1, as there's only one qualifying session, it is going to be Potts Weaver. The number 13 Potts Autosport McLaren with Alan Calvello lined up in P2. Lined up behind him, Esteban Umbanesk in P3 there, the number 27. We saw that challenge at the end and a lovely finish. Matt Melanson going to come across in P4 this time, the number 33 with Jan Rogic behind in 5th. JB Ruzic in P6 with Scott Sullivan in 7th. We have Will Mentors behind in P8. Mason Pierzhelski in P9, the number 10 driver with Devin Anthony behind in 10th. Jose Guzman, 11th quickest in the AMG Motorsports number 129, with Aaron Miller behind in 12th, the Viper Racing. Omar Perez, saw some cheers for him in chat. The Mexican driver in the Lippert Motorsports AMG with Joe Khalil behind in P14. Jeff Franks in the Love Wins Racing in 15th, the number 73 driver with Matthew Roden in P16. Seth Lincoln, 17th quickest with Mike Fisher in the pit lane. Leslie Alicea, going to be finishing off last race in 20th, starting this one in 20th as well. Drew Freiberger in P21 with number P22 behind of Rally Dutchy. We have Toth Arpad joining us this time around in the Noobs R Us Junior car, and Mike Freund behind in the number 70 Alpine in P24 in the Mediocre Racing. And last but not least, it is going to be Rocco Luciano. We saw V with a bit of troubles last race, resulting here in a last place position grid start. Car's underway here, and a little bit longer of an outlap to go here, but Steven, after race 1, we can see here the results of race 1 are determining the starting order of race 2. So this will give that chance back to Esteban here for the potential race win.
Yeah, well, not just Esteban, but also Calvello, who is really, really fighting for that top spot.
Am I pulling an Eric? No, not quite. I can't do that bad. Thanks, Bailey. Oof. Yeah, that's, maybe a bit harsh. Interesting. Mike Fisher starting in the pits. We also have Lucas Caneda starting in the pits, the Brazilian driver. Not sure what resulted in that. Bailey tried to defend his job. I didn't say it wasn't me. I promise there's no physically recorded evidence of me saying this. Vadik, if you're still in chat, by the way, this is what a livery deep dive would be, basically. I'll give a little livery deep dive of Potts Weaver. He's earned it so far. The lovely Potts Autosport ethos, life insurance, the human way. Fair enough. And the lovely Oregon sticker on the back, representing the Pacific Northwest. Love to see it.
Alrighty, race fans. We're starting to make our way around the final 2 turns of the track, lining up Noah's Ark 2x2 formation as we get set for another race here at Barcelona.
Potts Weaver here on pole position. Alan Calvello in P2. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me tonight is going to be Stephen Tomazic. This is race 2 tonight. of the rookie race here in the first race of the season, and we are green, 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 and that's going to be an amazing start for Esteban. He's going to be immediately challenged like a Potts Weaver. Alan Calvello firmly in the lead of this race at the start here. Is going to be off to the side, though, where he is going to need to outbrake Potts Weaver. Potts Weaver in the second phase of that launch, getting off incredibly, is going to go late enough onto the brakes as well to potentially hold that position. Alan Calvello, though, challenging it around the outside, is going to keep it side by side. I think he got a tap there from behind of Esteban. We're 3 wide into turn 3. A long right-hander of Renault. Got to be so patient back onto the throttle, and Esteban on it at a very good time, but checking up to the back bumper there of Potts Weaver, not able to get by.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like Potts Weaver had his tires into those marbles at the start.
Esteban, though, capitalizes and goes for the send down the inside, washes his car wide there, and steals the position contact there from Alan Calvello and Potts Weaver. That's going to allow Matt Melanson onto the outside here, challenging now the inside line as we head on into Sector 2.
Yeah, and you got to really be careful, as I just saw the back end of that Mercedes get a little bit squirrely coming through Worth. You don't want to dip your tires too far over on that curve, as it really upsets the car.
Matt Melanson trying to hold on to P3. A great question in chat. We'll get to that here in a moment.
Oh, as we see Calvello get spun around by Jan Rodriks.
Calvello is going to have a great recovery. It is to be said there. That it could not have been much better of a recovery, just losing 2 positions. There's yellow flags behind as well. It seems we have a bit of a collision here from behind. Rocco Luciano, Raleigh Dutchy, Mike Freund, Drew, as well as Toth, all getting involved in this, I think.
Yeah, it looked like the number 4 car just was not stopping, and then as Raleigh was getting back onto the throttle to turn around, another car came in and just pile drive the nose of his car.
This is another replay here. Scott Sullivan facing the wrong direction. What has caused this? Oh, a car. That was the... Oh, no. That was, I think, I want to make sure I get these names correct here, but once we come back in, we'll get them right for sure here, as we have a big, it's just a massive bunching up there, and you can see a little bit late on the brakes from Omar Perez. He is going to resume side by side, though, with this pack of 3. A bit dicey, though, for sure.
Very, very dicey and very, very spicy, as we have currently a really big battle going on right now for P14 between Devin Anthony and Omar Perez.
Yeah, Perez here fighting like an animal. The Mexican driver is able to gain the position, or at least hold the position for now, on to Devin Anthony, but Devin Small Block Anthony, as we call him, currently with a V8 behind underneath that bonnet. No small block this time. Well, I mean, a small block is a V8, but that's beside the point. Energy being given there for Aaron Miller. And Samp, I'll answer that question. Why do these drivers do 2 races? The reason is, of course, these are 2 20-minute races, so 2 shorter ones. And it basically gives you that, window. If you make a mistake in the first race, you can always, forget about race 1, head down in the second one, and vice versa. You do well in the first one, don't do well in the second. It's just more opportunity for more fun, as Devin Anthony has a little bit of a love tap into the back of Omar Perez.
Yeah, it's not only just for a little bit more fun, it's to allow these drivers to really acclimate themselves to this pack of cars. Coming into it, we have, like we said at the start of the stream, we have a lot of new names, and those new names are new. They're seeing these drivers for their first time. So everybody's learning each other, everybody's learning the track, and that's pretty much what this whole entire series is about. As we saw Scott Sullivan taking the grass line coming out New Holland.
That was
to come onto the straight.
That was Rodin. Scott Sullivan in the AMG Petronas on the inside. Able to hold on for now. Looks like he is going to go a little too early on the brakes. No, this bad camera angle is going to get by. Nicely done. Matthew Rodin tries to go for the on-the-grass pass, but isn't able to hold it. Mike Freund behind, now going to be joining the action in that mediocre racing Alpine.
And it looks like Calvello has gotten around the teammate of Ruzic, Jan Rodriks, and is now trying to pressure the rear bumper of Ruzic to try and gain that P4 position.
And Somp, like that format, I think, yeah, this format is all around the best. Got a little love. We can give a little love to Mason, sure. Mason currently all on his lonesome, though, in P10, so not too many people around him. We'll tune back into him when he has a bit more going on. I'm sure he'll catch up in a little bit here. But he's rocking his own race as it stands and doing a great job of it. Mentors here trying to dispatch Jose Guzman and also try to hold on to Aaron Miller. We saw that love being given there of energy to Aaron Miller from Casey Schutte.
Devin Anthony making the move on Omar Perez, coming around the turn before the Sabadell complex and make the pass and made it stick and is now 0.7 of a second ahead of Perez.
And Mike Freund getting involved as well, getting by Roden. Roden going backwards here tonight a little bit as he started in P16, down 2 positions, but that's nothing compared to Scott Sullivan, who's down 9 positions from where he started in P7.
Oh no, Aaron Miller. Oh, coming into the turn 1 just a little too hot, and unfortunately just drove off, not having the best race for him tonight.
Casey, put too much pressure on Aaron.
As I just saw a collision with Seth Lincoln.
Oh no, Omar Perez, Devin Anthony also getting involved.
Yeah, Devin Anthony unfortunately getting to the back of Seth Lincoln, and then Seth Lincoln just, oh, you hate to see it.
So we didn't see what led up to that, but we do see the tap here between Perez and Lincoln and, Lincoln, arriving on the scene of the crime. We see between Anthony and Perez. All 3 drivers still remaining side by side with each other, though, at this stage of the race.
Actually, I think that was Roden who got mixed up with Seth Lincoln, it looks like. Yeah, Roden has a bunch of damage to the front end of that McLaren or Mercedes.
Seems to be the dangerous spot to be on track here for these guys in terms of anywhere between P13 and P20. As my point stands. Off
looks like
Arpad, though, side by side, and is going to get the overtake onto Matthew Roden. Nicely done for the Hungarian driver.
Yeah, we got Calvello still pressuring Ruzic for that P4 position, but Ruzic just keeps shutting the door and is covering all of those bases, covering that inside line as you come into turn 1, keeping Calvello at bay and not allowing him to catch up to this lead pack, who is being led by Umbanesk, who's pulled a 1.7 second gap on Potts Weaver.
Wait a second. That's not supposed to happen. Devin Anthony, you're not supposed to be typing in chat. Get your head on the road. Jeez. Oh my goodness, or you'll do what Matthew Roden, what Toth did there and absolutely outbrake yourself and lose a position. Matthew Roden is going to be gifted that one up to P19. Raleigh Dutchy, though, potentially Matthew's next victim. Or excuse me, Seth Lincoln under threat here from Raleigh Dutchy. And love there being thrown for Calvello. Where's Calvello landed himself at? He's landed himself in P5 after that bit of an error. Currently sitting down 3 positions from where he started, but not out of this race by any stretch of the imagination. 8 tenths behind the likes of JB Ruzic right now.
We had energy sent towards Aaron Miller, who's out there on track right now, trying to gain back what he lost after a spin in turn 1, and is gaining a position right now moving up into P11, getting around Khalil.
That was a little bit before. I think Casey kind of jinxed Aaron on that one. He gave him some racing fuel, and it put too much weight on board, and he lost the back end as a result.
You hate to see it.
And thank you very much to RadDad2110 for the follow. What a name.
Oh boy, I'm seeing some closing of gaps up here in this front pack for P4. This battle between Calvello and Ruzic has now opened the door back up to Jan Roderick's and Jose Guzman coming into the fray.
Yeah, Jose, a bit of a dark horse. Of course, we didn't get to see him qualify. He did start last race off in the back of the grid, managed to make up something like 14 positions, but as you can see, he is no slouch. 4 positions in this race as well. We had a request earlier to take a look here at Mason and Pershelski, and we will do just that as he has found the back bumper here of Will Mentors. As he tries to find anything he can, that Martini Racing. Thank you very much to T_Dexter for the follow. Much appreciated. And Spice? Oh my goodness, now we're gonna have chat. Yeah, yes, I think he is Polish. I think he had confirmed that earlier in chat that he is in fact Polish. We have had currently 7, I think we're upwards of 7 or 8 pronunciation corrections, all different on how to pronounce.
Yes.
Oh, you're right. Dieter. My apologies. T_Dieter for the follow, not Dexter. I'm not dyslexic at all, I promise. Seven minutes, 58 seconds left to go in this race. The battle for P5 is intensifying here. Or battle for P4, that is.
Yeah, Calvello just keeps getting that good run on that front straight. Is able to keep up with that Mercedes of Ruzic. But he's also got that Mercedes of Jan Roderick's behind, putting the pressure on. And then another Mercedes of Jose Guzman putting pressure onto the bumper of Roderick's. There haven't been any moves made or attempts. I think they're just biding their time, waiting for that perfect moment to make a move, but time's ticking and these guys need to get a move on.
Yeah, and Alan Calvello his back end is looking a bit out of shape. Every now and then he gets onto that throttle and the Porsche just lights up those rear ends and it has a bit of a pirouette moment and he falls off there of Ruzic. It's going to be really tough to make an overtake happen with that. You can see though, nice apex there.
As Ruzic gets a little loose, now opens up the door for Calvello, but to go with that whole pirouetting of the Porsche, it's probably from him having that spin lap 1.
Yeah, you're probably right. The tires at this stage going to be getting the best of him. Especially compared to those AMGs around, which are generally pretty good at tire saving, which I'm noticing. So, of course, we are running the new GT4 LFM BOP, and it is, I'm seeing a lot of AMGs. Just interesting. It's, you know.
There's a lot of AMGs. There's only 1 Alpine in the field, and 3 McLarens at the moment.
Side by side into the first corner we go. Alan Calvello is going to get dispatched by Jan Roderick's. Can he hold on? Can Jose Guzman gain another position here? I think Jose can gain maybe even more than 1.
Yeah, now with five and a half minutes left in this race, I have a feeling these team heads, crew chiefs are turning around and telling these drivers, hey, time's ticking, it's time to go. And we're now starting to see those moves as Jose Guzman is really now pressuring that bumper of Calvello, who is unfortunately struggling with those tires.
course, Steven Tomazic as well, all too familiar with the mind of a team engineer, as of course he is the team engineer over for the BMW team. I wasn't gonna get that. I wasn't thinking that. So yes, is over on Syntho Drive on Wednesdays. So I'm doing a great job of managing that team. How's your season feeling so far, Steven?
A little bit of drama in the first race, but I think we're gonna get through. We got the win in the second race, so we're happy with that, and is moving us into the lead of the Drivers' Championship.
Thoughts on your teammate? Any rumors?
Prodigy.
He's the next prodigy. Okay. Any rumors of next season of him being signed on?
Well, he's got a 2-year contract right now.
Okay.
So he's set. He's got a seat for next season, but he's got some pace in that driver, and I think he's going to do all right.
Of course, the driver that we're talking about, everybody, Jake Wells. He's been a little lacking in the Syntho Drive series ever since he's joined. Woo! Jose Guzman here, sending it into the first corner, not quite getting the brakes on in time, but is able to get it stopped. Oh, but that Syntho Drive series, so much fun. If you guys are interested, definitely check it out on Wednesdays.
We have Pershelski opting for the outside line to try and maintain as much speed as he can. Coming out of Renault. And now going in through Respol, has a little bit of a tighter line, still trying to find a way around Menser.
And the laps are ticking down here. Well, that could be exactly what he's been waiting for. Menser goes way too deep into the corner. His best sum 41 impression, and Mason says thank you very much. We have Lucas Caneda behind and Toth Arpad. The Brazilian driver versus the Hungarian driver. That is one thing I got to say about sim racing and just racing in general is the diversity that brings out. Of course, seeing two people on two sides of the planet race each other is quite cool.
Yeah, and the friendships that you make with these drivers is awesome.
Oh no, Toth loses the back end. So does Seth goes just way too deep into the corner there with some front end damage, maybe not gripping up in time. That allows Lucas Caneda through easily. But yeah, to your point there, Steven, though, I want to say that the Discord, of course, afterwards and even currently, full of a lot of people, and just so awesome to see the camaraderie as well. You can see a Discord link to that if you guys are interested. Definitely join up on that if you guys are looking to improve, looking for tips, looking for liveries or whatever and how to improve there. TRACKILICIOUS Discord, definitely the place to go. We got Lucas Mine joining us as well, cheering on Caneda, and Caneda doing a great job as well. Up into P17 so far, I think down from where they started one position, but you can see the battling. It definitely has been there for Caneda.
Yeah, I was just watching Jeff Franks. Unfortunately, he got a little bit offline coming into turn one as he was trying to make the move on Aaron Miller for that top 10 position. And he's now under threat of Scott Sullivan.
And Scott really all over the back bumper. We'll have one more good attempt to get an overtake here tonight. Maybe two. Depending if the back straight you argue is a good overtaking opportunity. It can be. Definitely it can be. Up ahead, Jan Rodricks and his long-distance sister car having a bit of a fight. Now, are they fighting or are they working together? That is what everyone's really going to be asking here. You can see the confidence, I think, for Jan Rodricks versus JB.
And our race leader, Umbanesk, has taken the white flag, so this will be our final lap around Barcelona.
Umbanesk has taken the lead of this race and walked away with it. Potts Weaver, 5.5 seconds behind currently.
Yeah, I think that start really got into Potts' head starting on that offline inside line and hitting the marbles, just losing the speed and allowing Ubanis to just run away with it after turn 3.
We saw a good run there from Jan Rodrix. He had a look onto his teammate, but thought better of it. Is going to play it safe rather than play it dangerous. And I think when you're, well, rule number 1 of racing is don't hit your teammate, and playing that card nicely.
Yeah, I'm sure there's team orders being thrown through the headsets of these drivers saying who should take it. But as I say that, Jan Rodrix is still right on the bumper of Ruzic.
Now, of course, after this race, everybody, do not go anywhere because there is the GT4 Open Series, which is coming up. That's going to be a 40-minute race of the non-rookies out. Well, there will be rookies as well, but we will have everybody joining us. It's, of course, the Open Championship, so everyone is welcome. But looks like here tonight, coming across the final few corners now, and now the final. It is going to be Esteban Ubanes, the number 27 Team Grilled Cheese. Why is that his team name? Because he likes grilled cheeses, everybody. Takes the race win here for the Swiss driver. I'm not even joking either. Pottsweaver comes across the line in second. Matt Melanson in third. One Bigley, thank you so much for the 100 bits as well. Absolute legend. JB Ruzic, photo finish with his teammate in P4. Does manage to hold it, though, over Jan Rodrix in 5th. Alan Calvello in 6th. Jose Guzman 7th. Mason Perichelli in P8. Will Mentors in P9. And rounding out our top 10 will be Scott Sullivan.
Very, very good racing from all of our GT4 Rookie Series drivers tonight. Very entertaining. And a lot of action out there on track.
And as I said before, more to come, so do not go anywhere. We will have plenty more action. We do have some post-race interviews after this. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Matthew Rondon at the very end here. What has happened?
He got looked like he got into it with Rally Dutchy, Seth Lincoln, and R-Pod.
That looked like Seth Lincoln there, unfortunately. It looked like, to be honest, that was a lovely overtake from Rodin. And Seth there onto the back end of the second chicane, not quite agreeing with the line there. Hey, Vadik, thank you so much for popping in. Appreciate you, man.
All right, if we have Ubanes, Pottsweaver, and Melanson, if you guys are out there and you guys want to get interviewed, come on up and step into the green room and we'll pull you down.
Yes, indeed. If you guys head on up into the green room, please do. Trying to see, looks like nobody in the Discord as of yet, even in any other channels. So hopefully we will be getting some post-race interviews in. But yes, definitely do join us if you guys all are interested. But what battles we had here for the rookie race, I gotta say, not too many yellow flags. The first race was beyond clean. I don't even think we had really a major yellow flag. In race 2, I think we had a couple not pile-ups, but a couple 3-car collisions as well as 4-car collision. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. Lap 1's looking great. The rookie is really putting in the work, you can tell, and especially for not having any experience with some of the drivers next to them, I was very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and a lot of respect being given to these drivers. A lot of respect on the track between these drivers allowed for very close, very safe, and very, very, very good racing.
And hopefully there's more of that to come as we head on into the GT4 League here. Of course, this is open to our Patreon championship. We'll get more on that in a little bit. Just trying to see here as we hop on in. We got about 5.5 minutes left to go of free practice. We've already done Stream Racer. So what are we going to do for the downtime? And no, before anyone says it, no, not more Stream Racer.
Why don't we go over our calendar again to remind everybody?
Yeah, I probably can't really draw that out for 5 minutes, but I can do. Why not do that? It's a good call. This is our calendar coming up, everyone. All of these events can be found over on the TRACKILICIOUS SimGrid. Definitely do head on over there for any of these events. Let's get that in-game to shut up in the background. Thank you. We have, of course, everything jam-packed here into one little slide, as you can see, and it's quite a bit. You are watching tonight the GT4 Rookie Series, as well as the GT4 Open. And after that, of course, up next, we have Wednesday's Syntho Drive. That's what we were talking about earlier. Steven Tomazic, the BMW team principal, for some AI racing. Super fun. Josie Koo, thank you so much for putting that on for us, as well as GT3 West Coast Championship. That's going to be starting up soon enough over on the 7th, February 7th. Nürburgring will be round 1. We have our GT3 reverse grid. That has just been an absolute, I was going to say a grand slam dunk, but I don't think that works like that. It's a grand slam and a slam dunk at the same time. It's been incredible. This GT3 reverse grid has been so much fun. If you guys are thinking, if you guys have the Thursdays free and have time at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 20 minutes, 2020 doubleheader, it's definitely worth your time. First race is in the order that you finish qualifying, and the second race is in the previous, or in the race of the order finished. I was reading things and trying to explain. Anyways, you flip the grid after the first race. Porsche Cup is going to be on Sundays as well. That's going to be our build up to the main event, which is our GT3 Championship at 8:30. GT4 Endurance as well, the first Saturday of every month. February 10th will be our next one over at Bathurst, and we have special events coming up on the 12th as well, midnight at the Mountain. Definitely head on over to the SimGrid. It is going to be a jam-packed quarter one, I guess you could call it. But I guess before we move on, thank you as well to all our Patreons. All their wonderful names are on screen. Especially thank you to the V12 Exotics and all of the previous Patreon supporters, all future Patreon supporters, and of course the current ones as well. Thank you all so much. You make what we do here possible, and appreciate every single one of these names so much. Thank you. As we head back to the booth, we're back.
Yeah, very, very well done on the calendar that time, Mike. And to add to it, without you, the audience, really, really supporting the stream and supporting these leagues, we wouldn't have a Trackalicious right now without you guys.
Y'all are awesome. I hope that award ceremony that we put on earlier in the year, or the couple streams ago, I hope you all enjoyed that. And yeah, that we put in a lot of work for that one, and it is of course due to the work that you guys put in for us. So thank you so much. But we'll get a little in-game audio back and rolling here. That way there's not just complete silence. And we have a little bit more time to go before we get into the session here.
Yeah, currently we have 21 drivers on track right now.
You know what? While we're waiting, Steven, quick little thing. Highlight of your top 7.
My type.
Your 7 days. Highlight of the past 7 days. Just give me the best highlight you can.
Best highlight of the past 7 days.
Does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't.
Like the best thing that happened in the past 7. I'll go first. My uncle got a drone, and I'm learning how to fly it, and that's pretty cool. So that's my highlight of my top 7. I flew a drone today, flew a drone yesterday. Would recommend. It's pretty cool.
Probably for me, I'd have to say I've put in an application for a new position at my job, which I'm really hoping I get.
Awesome. Sweet. Chat, Love to hear if you guys have any highlights of your top 7 as well. Past 7. I need to figure out a way to word that better. Highlight of the past 7. That makes sense to me. Does that not make sense, Steven?
Well, the way you initially sent it out there,
yeah, you're
I thought
right.
it was
Maybe
like,
it's
am I racing? But I've only been in one race.
Fair enough. Jacob, what's the highlight of your past 7? See you chilling in chat right now. We got another 30 seconds left to go before the session starts to roll over, so plenty of time. Lizzie as well. Lolly. Once again, Lolly, thank you so much for joining us, supporting your mom out there as well. It's so cool to see. I know we have a lot of family. Didn't have work today. There you go. There you go. I mean, that's not really... I mean, if that's the past 7? That's all you got for the past 7?
Hey.
Come on, Jacob.
A day off work can seriously be a good highlight of the past week.
That is true. No, you're not wrong.
Getting that one extra day of rest.
Just say the highlight of your week? Yeah, but that's boring. It was a great race except lap 1. I thought it was a great race even with lap 1. There was a couple in race 2, a little bit of scraps on the first lap there. I think there was 4 cars or 5 cars that got involved. Boring, but it's not confusing. Yeah, but it's boring. So, regardless, we're going to hop on into the session here. If the game would show up. There we go.
Yeah, so the format for tonight's Open Series race is a little bit different. You have 21-minute qualifying going into a 45-minute race. Now, that 21-minute qualifying, that first minute is for setup only. No drivers are allowed on track until the 20-minute mark, which we have just hit. So our first drivers are out on track, and it looks like it's going to be Dan Brace, followed by Ali Raza.
We got big hitters out on track first. What do they have? Oh no, Apri was involved in the lap 1 incident. Naughty.
And Canada redeeming that hydrate. Definitely need that.
I was in the middle of hydrating when you redeemed that hydrate with water, so, you know, I'm ahead of the ball on that one. Thank you, Canada. Hey, shush. I corrected myself.
Not gonna lie, at first glance, I almost said Canada boy.
It's, you know, when you have it in game, it just looks differently than when you have it in Twitch chat.
It does.
Sword and Keyboard, welcome. And thank you very much, Snoopy. And Steven, it's Steven, right? With a V?
With a V.
Yeah, okay.
I am not a Stefan.
Hope everyone is staying warm. You know, it's been a bit of a challenge these past few days, but it's, you know, we're making do now. It's warmed up in the past few. I can't even imagine what it's like for some of the Midwesters out there as well. I know that was pretty chilly.
And not only the Midwesters, but here on the East Coast, it's been really, really cold the past 2 days. I think we're supposed to get down into the teens tonight.
Ay. That's too cold. 27 there. Of course, we're talking Fahrenheit here for any of those non-Fahrenheit viewers.
Freedom units.
Yep. Chongzilla, Florida for the win. It doesn't get cold here.
Don't count your don't count your eggs till they hatch, because there have been a few years where it has dipped down below freezing in Orlando.
Yeah, it's warmed up to 32 where I am currently, so not too bad.
Alrighty, so Dan Brace being our first driver to run around the track, coming around into the final turns now.
70 in Florida? That can't be right. There's no way. It's 75 right now. That's insanity. How is that even? Half the country is frozen solid and you're chilling down there in your short sleeves and shorts? Like, what?
Come on. We all know anything below 80 is sweater weather in Florida.
Oh, fair. 65 in Taipei, that's not bad. Freezing and hungry. Once again, still one of the coolest things I think about sim racing is the fact that there is all of the cultures around the world. Of course, down in Brazil, I know it's the summer down there, so it's going to be just cooking.
Alrighty, as we're now starting to see our first laps come onto the board, Dan Brace dropped a 153.7, and Ali Raza immediately answers with a 153.3.
I will pull up the timing so everyone can see that. There we are. Quinn Smith jumping into the timing charts now. The V8 Racing Camaro. As he makes his trip around Barcelona here. 5 minutes left to go in qualifying before we have the even numbers head out to track. And Steven, have you seen your Discord recently?
Yes, I just got it.
Lovely.
Alrighty. So yeah, just following along, looking at all the times being dropped right now. Currently, it's just the white plates out on track right now. The red plates, I believe, are going to go out second. I don't know what the difference is between the two, but currently still in the lead with is Ali Raza currently with that 153.3. Quinn Smith coming in P2 with the 153.5, and Dan Brace following closely behind with the 153.7. That is currently your top three, followed by James Reed, Casey Schutte in P5. He's not in his P6 position, so it's gonna nope. I spoke too soon, as John Hawley has now moved him into P6, and now he quickly jumped right back up into P4. Darren Thomas.
Quinn Smith here coming down the straight with Ali Raza here on pole position. Dan Brace not able to answer just yet, but there is James Pierre Reed in the lawnmower. 4 tenths off the pace.
Yeah, and by him doing that has now moved our good friend Casey Schutte back down into his home position of P6.
Oh, wait a second. I see what we're seeing, though. Wait, hold on. What? Quinn Smith qualified out of order. Yeah, so did JP. Wait a second. Hold on. Is it not split quali?
No, it is split quali. I believe it's white plates out. Red plates are coming up next.
I see. Okay, it's not an odd or an even this time. Gotcha.
Yes.
My apologies, chat. Yes, okay.
But then again, well, this is what's weird. There's some even if it is odd and evens marked
JP.
red gamer. This is neither LFM or Pitskill. This is Trackalicious.
Yes, but BOP wise, we are using the LFM BOP.
Yes.
Is this a 21 car field? Currently, yes, this is a 21 car field. See if anyone else slips in before the end of qualifying. I know it's a bit difficult. We might see 1 or 2 people join in because of course, we just had our GT4 rookie series. There might be a couple more joining in. JP Reed, though, after that invalidation, we saw him straight line the corner. He will be having another go here. The Celsius Autosport from Down Under, the Australian driver, seeing what he can do. Whoops, that's Steven's face. You love to see it. Eric lied in the driver's briefing, everybody. I see how it is. So what are we gonna do about 26 cars currently registered? Okay. So basically, if you didn't make it into the first session, I'm assuming if you just go out, if there was a miscommunication, and then we just call it good. Milos Tansky and Darren Thomas can just make the red plate qualifying. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Just a guess. Don't take that by any word, anyone. Makes it fair for everybody that way, though, of course, having equal time out on track as the virtual checkered flag now falls.
And we now have our red plate drivers starting to make their way out onto the track.
And Chunkzilla with a great question again. Is there a certain time per track that you must meet to race? No, there is not, Chunkzilla. There is no 103%, 101%, or 107, however you want to look at it. This series in particular, actually, is open to our Patreon members as well as donors and their server supporters in other ways. I don't know the exact list of every way you can get in, but this is our server supporter series, the GT4 Open. So the previous race... Oh, go ahead.
Yep, and just before this, we had our GT4 Rookie Series, which is our doubleheader 20-minute races of all rookie drivers.
Wait, Eric, this isn't... You just told me the other... Wait, what? It's not open, though, is it? It's the Open, but it's not open. Unless I've been severely misinformed, but I don't think that's the case. And John Hawley loving the Camaro as well. You love to see that. The fan of the American small block. Chonk, don't apologize. Do not apologize for asking questions. Ask more, please. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Because if you have a question, I guarantee you are not the only one out there. Anyone interested in signing up on any of our events? The link here in chat is... Holy smokes! Chonkzilla dropping a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that also is a good reminder. If you have a Prime sub or if you have an Amazon Prime account and you have that Prime sub sitting there collecting dust, don't allow that money to go to Jeff Bezos. Support your streamers.
Absolutely. Make sure you use that Twitch Prime sub, because if you don't, that $5 a month goes directly into the wallet of Jeff Bezos. And nobody wants that. Let's be honest. Nobody wants that.
Man's rich enough as it is.
We're looking here at the T-Swizzle 2022 car. Now, I know this is a fan favorite, but I think at this stage, Steven, well, you know, I gotta say, maybe warming up my heart a little bit, practicing pit entries. So thank you, Chronotis, practicing the pit entry. You love to see it. But a little out of date with that livery. I'd love to see a more updated T-Swizzle livery. All of the money in the world goes to Jeff Bezos, let's be honest. That's why you have to prevent that $5 from going there. Is you have, look, all of it already does, but you can prevent at least, you know, 5 of it, so not all of it. But thank you so much, Chonkzilla, as well as for the follow. Much appreciated. So we have Darren Thomas. I know it looks like he is not out on track at the correct time. However, of course, this was due to the misinformation spread by Eric Gakassian initially in the driver's briefing. So Darren Thomas gets a free pass this time. Next week, of course, we will be seeing the white plates out with the white plates and the red plates out with the red plates. There will be no exceptions next week. Aaron Miller smashing the time chart, by the way.
Yeah, and has uprooted Casey Schutte from his home P6 position. Casey Schutte's going to be really fighting to get that position back.
He can't.
As we all know.
He's got nothing at this stage in the qualifying. He's just got to give it up.
I meant in the race. He's going to have to fight for that position back.
Very true, very true. He's got 40 minutes to do so.
45 minutes.
45 minutes, that's right. This qualifying gets closer to wrapping up here. We should see a few more drivers pull back out on the track. Jaeger Karu sitting in the pit lane right now, along with Zane Bliskett, Justin Beachley, and Professor Chronotis. No, Chronotis is, never mind, excuse me, and Beachley. And Zane. Alright, never mind. 3 of those names are not rookies. My apologies.
Yeah, we got Jaeger Karu and Rally Dutchy, the 2 drivers that have not been out and have not set a time yet. Wonder if that's going to pay off for them.
Oh, okay, here we go. We have another great question. So, Mark Dread Gamer. So we joined the Discord and the SimGrid, and that's it. So, if you join the Discord and the SimGrid, that is what allows you to sign up for any of the events that you would like on our SimGrid. But essentially, yes, that is it. In terms of being able to sign up for events, that is all you have to do is just register with SimGrid and the Discord through SimGrid, and you will be able to join any of our leagues. Which I'll send a link here, Discord here in chat as well if you're interested there. But yeah, once you head on over to the leagues, you click on, let's for example, the GT4 Open Series, the one that you see now. You click register for the event, and you get on in there. Of course, SimGrid providing an excellent platform. These championships all have points to them, and scoring afterwards, so as well as stewarding and points adjustments. So I gotta say, SimGrid absolutely crushing it.
And now also allowing for BOPs.
Of course, the SimGrid Delta app that they just released recently, looking really nice. And AV6 Scott with a rating party of 9. Thank you so much, Scott. Great driving today, man. Absolutely great job. killed it in the rookie race.
Holy smokes!
And holy smokes, we have Mao53B41T. Thank you for the follow. Mo, not Mao, probably Mo.
Mouse bait.
Mouse bait. Wow. How did you decipher that?
Is dead mouse.
Good job. That was a tough one. Yeah, that was... Dude, Scott, you put on a good show, though, I gotta say. Thank you for that raid. I hope you had a really good stream. Let's give you a nice little shout-out here. If anyone is interested, definitely go give AB6 Scott a shout-out. The most improved driver of 2023, am I correct? Or was that John Hawley? Or was that...
That was John Hawley.
The most... the rookie driver of the year? Rookie driver of the year. That was Scott Sullivan, wasn't it?
Yeah, John Hawley calling it out. Seeing gamer tags over the years, you get used to reading numbers and letters together.
And grumpy geriatric gamer, one of those gamer tags that is tough to forget. Saying, loving to see the difference in the manufacturers. I gotta say, that is actually insane, the diversity there. Yeah, the LFM BOP coming in clutch for sure. Is there a... What is this? Hang on here. Okay, Reggie King, what have you brought to the table here for a livery? I'm just curious. What is on the back of this car? So it's a lovely Wonka livery. Great Trackalicious logo on the rear bumper, American flag. Now, what do we got going on back here? That's a golden ticket. That's what it is. Reggie King has the golden ticket, everybody.
Does that mean he's going to be the next owner of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
Or it means that he's going to get inflated and then fly away, potentially. One of the two. Or roll away? What happened to that lady?
She got rolled away.
Rolled away, okay. Well, that could be the next Reggie King. Yeah, John Hawley loving that Violet. Probably because it looks almost like the car that you made. It looks extremely similar to the Pampers car. What is better, mouse bait? Cartel, what is better, mouse? I see. You have to go with creamy? Oh, mouse, we can't be friends. Xander Zone, does that mean that the Oompa Loompas have a pit crew? Or are a pit crew? Yo. I don't think they'd make a good pit crew. They'd be singing the whole time.
Yeah.
That is not what you want in a pit crew.
And their songs average about a minute and a half. Yeah,
that you're definitely, if you were on a Formula One team, I don't think they would be making it that long in the championship.
Yeah, and the dancing definitely doesn't help either.
Yeah, could you imagine somebody changing your front tire and then they start breaking out into song and dance and do it like a musical? I mean, I low-key want to see this now, but, you know, if I was the driver, I'd be pretty upset. No peanut butter in the series, too busy watching nature documentaries. And the Trackalicious stream, it seems.
Yes. Well, that, and he's supposed to be racing in a little bit.
The tires would be way too overinflated. That's so right. You'd be driving on balloons. Jeff Franks to the line. Comes across in P18. Nicely done. Aaron Miller will be last but not least to the line. Had a bit of a disappointing show in the rookie races. Looking a bit different, though, in the open. I think it is going to remain P7 here for Aaron, as it is no improvement. But what a job. Yes, you can see in chat there a little bit of confusion.
As we are now lined up, getting ready for the start of this Open Series race. This is going to be a 45-minute race with a pit stop. So all these drivers are going to have to come in for, I believe it is a fuel-only pit stop with optional tires.
I'm assuming fixed 25 seconds, but We'll see if Eric has anything to say on that.
I do not have a copy of the briefing to verify that, but I'm pretty sure, yes, it is going to be a 25-second fixed fueling pit stop, tires optional.
As we have it here, before we get into this race, why don't we get in here and meet our drivers? Starting off in P1, it is going to be the Ali Raza, the Ali Razster, will he razzle dazzle? Okay, that's enough of that. Ali Raza starting off in P1, the number 30. James Pierre Reid, the Australian KTM driver, coming home in P2, going to be lined up on the front row. Quinn Smith going to be third quickest in the 999 V8 Racing Camaro, with Dan Brace lined up next to him in P4. Darren Thomas, fifth quickest in the Warm Soup 613, with John Hawley rounding out row 3 in the BBC Planet Earth 3. Behind him, Aaron Miller in P7, the Viper Racing number 90, with Casey Schutte in P8. Row 5 belonging to Potts Weaver in the Potts Auto Sports, with Jan Rodricks behind, rounding out our top 10 in the Baseline Racing AMG. Alex Freeman, 11th quickest in the number 14 McLaren, with Reggie King behind in the RKR Willy Wonka number 111. George Elmer, 13th quickest in the number 22, with Professor Chronotis behind in 14th. Justin Beachley, 15th quickest in the number 18 AMG Beach GT. Milos Tansky, 16th quickest in the Alpine, the lone Alpine on the grid here tonight for the GT4s, with Zane Blisket Company in 17th. Jeff Franks lining up in 18th in the Love Wins Racing, the number 73 Porsche Motorsports, with Tanner Masters behind in the Code 3 in P19. P20 belonging to the number 20 driver of Jaeger Karu in the Mad Fox Racing, the Canadian driver, with last but not least, the Mad Fox 621 of Rally Dutchy. Got 21 seconds left to go before we get underway for our outlap here tonight. 2.9 miles here at Barcelona. And as we said earlier, one mandatory pit stop, fixed 25 seconds of fuel, optional tires. And we have quite the race ahead of us here tonight. This is the GT4 Open Series, so do expect high calibers of racing.
Yes, a lot of speed up here in this top 10, as we see these drivers now starting to make their way off of the starting grid to start this formation lap. And it looks like we have a request for a livery deep dive of Mr. John Hawley.
John Hawley, the BBC Planet Earth 3. So, as we take here, I got this. As we take a look here at the lovely, lovely livery here, with the penguin swimmingly on it, the lion's tongue breathing down like it's licking the back of your neck as it comes through, the BBC Planet Earth 3. Coming into a theaters near you. Brought to you by John Hawley. How was that, chat? That's a tiger?
That's a tiger on the roof.
That's a tiger. Look, there's a reason that I'm not David Attenborough, okay? I mean, there's more reasons than that I'm not David Attenborough, but I'm also just, not David Attenborough.
It was a good attempt. Oh, man. So, predictions for this race. I have a feeling we're going to see a Raza Reid 1 and 2. But I think Reid might actually be able to knock Raza off that top spot. So I'm thinking it's going to be Reid, Raza, and then Dan Brace as our top 3.
That's a bold prediction. I'll be honest, I would agree with you if James Pierre Reid was in a Ferrari. But, as James Pierre Reid in chat himself has pointed out, he's in a bit of a motorbike. KTM, I will admit, they make some excellent dirt bikes, and I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with the Dakar Rally over in the Saudi Arabia, but it is, I don't even know if KTM's riding in there. I know Honda hasn't been doing too well, but the KTM being represented here tonight, of course, the 2012 Crossbow, as I pull up my car facts for that one. It is going to be a very, very large engine, but one of the biggest, in fact, a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. It's massive, trust me. It is
got that lovely
turbocharged.
turbo on it.
It does have a little turbo on it, rocking about 360 brake horsepower and weighing in around 2,400 pounds. It is a feather. It's a lawnmower. Let's just be completely honest.
It is, but I honestly have a feeling that KTM might surprise us tonight. As we're now making our way around the final turn, heading off onto the front stretch to start this lovely evening race at Barcelona.
Yes, indeed. The drivers 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as we get ready to go green here tonight. Ollie Raza on pole position. James Pierre Reed challenging here as we go get ready here. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joining me is Stephen Tomazic, and we are green, heading on down to the first corner. And as you can see, James Pierre Reed with an absolutely expectedly terrible start is going to be immediately swamped 3 wide heading into the first corner and losing the ground, still getting out accelerated even though we're almost down to the braking zone at this stage. He loses 2 positions there, holds on John Hawley, not able to slip by. So far, Dan Brace holding side by side with Quinn Smith and Ollie Raza walking away at the start here. James Pierre Reed gonna have to put up a bit of a fight, as we see though behind Casey Schutte is gonna be side by side with Darren Thomas.
Yeah, side by side as they come out of Renault and now entering Rest Bowl. Still side by side, a little bit further back from our leaders. Definitely a risky move going through there.
Oh my, Potts Weaver getting well out of shape. He severely misjudges that, causes a massive concertina. Casey Schutte is stranded into the kitty litter. Potts Weaver rejoins 3 wide into a very dangerous part of the track. You can't even go 2 wide through there. We're going to see an attempt though. Cronotis sends it up the inside. He's going to try to make it stick. Potts Weaver runs out of track though, maybe cuts the outside there. Definitely Stewart's going to have a look at that. Aaron Miller trying to now capitalize on the mistake there from Professor Cronotis. And this is some lovely scrapping here on lap 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Potts Weaver got into the back of Aaron Miller, sent him off, and then as Casey Schutte was starting to make his turn into seat, he just gets clipped in the rear end and sent around, and unfortunately sends him to the back of the pack.
Jeff Franks up 3 positions here at the start. Zane Blisket and Tanner Masters as well. So looking very strong for these mid-pack drivers here at this current stage. We've Justin Beachley also involved in this. He's fallen down the field quite a bit in the Beach GT. I want to take a look at that livery, as that looks like a new one from Justin.
And as you're doing that, we have a battle currently going on for P2. Oh! A little bit aggressive there from the Camaro of Quinn Smith.
That's going to be definitely looked at by the stewards, because the question is did Quinn Smith, was he left enough room on the apex by Dan Brace? That will be the question. Definitely debatable. I think that one will be hard to look at. Nobody spins, so obviously that'll be down to if either of these drivers even report that. But most certainly elbows out action, says Campo in chat. Yes, indeed. Triple, oh no!
Oh no,
Dan Brace is taking to the
Brace.
gravel, and he has had a mechanical issue, it seems, and is pulling off to the side and retiring. What has happened here? We're going to ride on board here with Dan Brace to listen and see what happened. Oh, he blew his engine up. He blew his engine up, everybody. Dan Brace just exploded the Aston Martin V8 engine. The 4.0 liter twin turbo. That was too much for it.
Oh no.
That was a very aggressive sound that coming out of that Aston Martin. That thing didn't sound happy.
That is the first time I have actually ever seen an Aston Martin going out on engine failure.
Yeah, same here. That's the second car I've ever actually seen go out on engine failure. This time around, though, where's Devin Anthony at? Where's Devin? Hold on. Where's he at? Is he in this race? I thought he was in this race. Is he just in chat?
Devin Anthony is not in this race.
Dang it. Devin, I hope you're here in chat and got to witness that, because congratulations. Devin, of course, Devin Small Block Anthony, earning his name from the exact same moment. That was over on Zolder, though, if I'm not mistaken, or Misano, I can't remember.
Yep, and John Hawley has made his way around James Reed. James trying to keep the pressure on, but that Camaro just has that straight line speed and just gets away.
Yeah, LFMBOP not helping the KTM, it turns out. This car just, it needs more than a BOP. It's just not ideal.
It needs more than a weight reduction.
And Campo, we miss you, Campo. Get back in here. Get back in the winter series, not even the spring series. I mean, obviously, if you can't, it is what it is. But we've got plenty of spots available. So if anyone is interested in signing up, do head on over to SimGrid, link here in chat. If you want a part of this epic racing, well, this is what the people wanted. We asked the people if they wanted a championship that was paid for or not, and Aaron Miller! I think he got loose by himself there.
I don't know. Let's take a look real quick. Comes in. No, he had a little help. He had a little help from, what was that? Car 46? 42. He had a little help from Carnotus.
Oh, no. Chrono gonna be kicking himself after that. We see here Reggie King gaining a position on Jan Rodrigues. I'm not sure how that happened. Oh, must have been Jan trying to go for it.
Jeff Franks got spun around. Looks like he dipped the tires into the dirt coming around New Holland. Or did he have help? He had help as well.
Oh, no. People misjudging the length of their noses here tonight. A bit of Pinocchio action, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the driver that spun Franks around was Masters. But up to the front of the field, we have a battle starting to brew between Jan Rodrigues, Reggie King, and Potts Weaver for that P7 position. Potts Weaver, getting a little bit hot, coming into Worth. Almost got into the back end of Reggie King. He really wanted to get that golden ticket.
Still side by side, though. Potts Weaver onto the outside is going to make it stick, but coming back, though, is the Willy Wonka. And he is going to defend. Nicely done. This is a lovely scrap that we're seeing.
Yeah, lovely scrap as Reggie King's able to keep that position and is trying to keep the pressure on Jan Rodrigues to not allow him to get too far away. But this battle right now is allowing more cars to catch up into that slipstream. We now have Carnotus and Beachley moving on up and within that 1 second, as we now have a move being made again by Potts Weaver on the inside this time, coming into Elf.
Oh, the car's in front making a misjudgment. That's Jan Rodrigues, who's trying to dispatch of a back marker. The back marker of Rally Dutchy has put it into the barrier. Rally overreacting a little bit there to the blue flag, I think. And I don't know if you want to pull up a replay of that one. I understand if you don't. And Rally,
let's take a look.
Unfortunately, going to be disconnecting from this race afterwards. You hate to see that, but easy mistake to make.
Just not his race.
Especially coming off the back of 2 rookie races, fatigue could be a bit of one of those, you know, on setting in at this stage. 2 20-minute races and then adding another one onto that, you're going to be absolutely feeling it by the end.
All right, moving a little bit further up the field, James Reed is still just barely within slipstream distance of John Hawley as they're now making their way through Sabadell Horseshoe.
Oh no, and update from Rally Dutchy. Apparently that was not an overreaction due to blue flags. That was a mechanical failure there.
Oof.
The wheel losing connection there, and he unfortunately put it into the wall as a result. That is, yeah, understandable. Typically you need the wheel to turn.
Not a good night, unfortunately, for Raleigh. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
I still cannot believe that Dan Brace blew his engine up. Out of all of the drivers in this field, I would not have expected Dan Brace to make that mistake. In a Porsche. No, in an Aston. He's not driving a Porsche
Aston
anymore.
Martin. I have to ask, though, how... But it looks like that Ironman team has gotten that engine back up and running as Dan Brace is actually back out on track.
Great job to the Aston Martin team, managing to do an engine change in 2.5 minutes. That takes some skill. I wish my mechanic was that good. And that early in the race, yeah, that's what happens though so basically, for anyone that doesn't know what happened, he locked his rear. So typically these cars, and GT4s in particular, have a pretty good downshift assist on them, where you can't actually downshift if it's going to knock you into a rev limit that's going to do that. However, if you lock your back axle up and your wheels aren't spinning, and you go to downshift, well, the car doesn't actually think your wheels are spinning, and it doesn't think you're traveling at speed, so it's going to downshift. And that's what we saw there. The back axle locking up, the engine going down into a gear, and probably the rev limiter hitting approximately 9,000 would be my guess. No Oompa Loompas in that garage, no. Although, who knows, maybe the chocolate engine is what blew up in the first place. But I gotta say, that thing didn't make as aggressive. The sound that the Camaro made when it blew up sounded like a cry for help. Like, that was it was sad.
Beachley went a little wide there for a second. Coming out of the back straight. Unfortunately, lost him a position to George Elmer, who's... We haven't really been talking about George Elmer today, but he's having a pretty good race tonight. He's gotten up 2 positions from his start.
The Simnut Racing Alpine was nominated for the livery of the year. Not this one, but the other, I think the Porsche version of it, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been the Alpine. But the old-fashioned Simnut, and well-deserving of that nominee title for the livery of I think the P Cup livery of the year is what it was. It was the Porsche Cup.
Mm-hmm. So far out on track, biggest winner, which is most positions gained, is Alex Freeman in that number 14 McLaren. He's up 6 positions, and he's on fire tonight. He's holding it down.
Also,
but
Moose.
He's got some.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He's got some strong competition coming up on him though, of Jan Rodericks and Potts Weaver.
Yeah, absolutely. And Potts Weaver, we've seen so far, is a force to be reckoned with in these championships, especially recently. Been doing so just superbly, not really putting a wheel wrong in too many situations. We saw a bit of contact, but you know, it happens. But thank you very much, Moose Boots, for the follow. I love that name. Now I'm just picturing a moose with boots, and I'm very happy as a result. And Compo saying, you definitely need another Alpine on this grid. You must sign up. I couldn't agree more. Let's get some more French love in this. Butter me like I'm a French car. That's the saying, right? Couldn't get through that one with a straight face. So taking a look back, this is Casey Schutte. Now we are getting very, very close to the pit phase. I don't think we've had any takers yet besides Dan Brace, who actually hasn't had a valid pit stop. So there hasn't been really any pit stops just yet. Of course, we're only 15 minutes in. I thought this was an hour race. My bad. So we got another 6 or 7 minutes to go. Yeah, before we start seeing pit stops.
That's it. That's even if these drivers are opting for that mid-race pit stop. Now, if you do take that mid-race pit stop, do you opt for a fresh set of boots underneath your car and take that 5 extra seconds in the pits, or do you just get fuel and go?
In a 45-minute race in these Alpines at Barcelona, I'm not expecting too much tire wear, so I think it'll be, honestly, it'll be a pretty split strategy, but I think most drivers will lean towards not taking tires. We'll definitely see, though, come that time. I think I would lean to not taking tires myself. And we have Moose saying it's a moose wearing a pair of work boots and not boots made of a moose. I'm going to be honest, boots made of a moose didn't even cross my mind. I was too focused on a moose wearing a pair of boots. And I was more thinking like little mitten slippers. I don't know. It's just kind of...
Those would be some pretty big mitten slippers for a moose.
Well,
moose hooves are huge, man.
Size is relative. That's all good. Jan Rodric's there, I think, or Alex Freeman crossing the pit line, but we don't have any rules against that here at Trackalicious.
Yep, so with that, he gives up that Alex Freeman gives up that P6 position.
Oh. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Potts Weaver and Jan Rodric's having a lovely bout into the first corner here. Jan is going to keep that advantage, but Potts is not giving up. Mitten Moose is my new clothing line. No, I can't take that one. What are you talking about? Moose Boots already has, Moose Boots already has that trademarked. They sell all sorts of Moose Boot products. Different boots for different mooses.
Moose Mittens' new Nause clothing brand from Eric.
We've completely lost track of this race at this stage.
We have.
We are derailed, and we are now officially riding mooses, and I'm not sure how we've managed this, but it's kind of epic. Casey Schutte battling for P11, not P6 where he would like to be. But speaking of P6, Jan Rodric's, the rookie driver, holding that down solidly.
Yeah, he's holding it down as he's under contention from Potts Weaver. But we also have Reggie King further back, who's trying to put the hammer down and attack George Elmer for that P9 spot.
Justin Beachley in the Beach GT. I want to take a look here. Of course, Justin last season was representing not his cat, it turns out. It was my apologies. It was actually his girlfriend's cat was represented. He had his cat representing a different livery. So my apologies there. This is why he needs to label them. But we are currently looking at the Brewed with Love in Cahunia Falls, Ohio. The Ohio Brewing Company. You'd love to see it. I'm actually not sure what that one's referencing. I mean, obviously the Ohio Brewing Company, but maybe Justin Beachley's Choice Brew? We'll have to find out more lore later.
Yep, and Casey Schutte is our second taker on our pit stop. I will be keeping an eye on the data to see how long these drivers are going to be stopping for, as it looks like Alex Freeman opted for new tires. He was in there for 32 seconds.
We have Mouse Bait and Moose Boots in chat. I'm not sure what to make of that. Seems like a conspiracy.
It's looking like Casey Schutte as well is opting for tires.
No relation. I love it. But no tires, or yes, tires being grabbed for them, yes.
Yeah, so opting for those new tires is going to give them a little bit of an advantage, as you now have fresh, unheat cycled rubber under your car. So you will see a potential gain, but is that going to be enough to overcome that 5 seconds that you had in the pits?
I don't know. You know, they're taking it a little early, which is a good call. If you're going for a tire strategy, coming in before that halfway point is definitely where you want to be. You get to use all of that grip throughout the session, because a pair of tires easily can make it 1 hour without really falling off that so-called cliff window. But you still, every single lap, obviously, your tires are getting slower and slower and slower. So the more rubber you have on, the quicker. Now, will they make up 5 seconds by the end? I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see. If any other drivers opt for no tires, that is where we're going to really see the difference.
Yep. As we now have Aaron Miller and Beachley in for their pit stops. It's a little bit sporadic on who's coming in and who's staying out. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of drivers take this to the end and just go for a splash and dash.
Yeah, it's still a little early, to be completely honest, for a pit stop. In terms of the halfway, if you want to make it to the halfway point. But we have 86 Scott in chat. Now, Scott, I'd love to ask you this. How was tire wear looking at Barcelona? Because I know you were obviously having multiple races on this track plus practice. How does tire wear feel? Because that will be really the determining factor. So far, I'm seeing everybody take tires, which I thought tire wear was pretty minimal here at Barcelona, especially looking in these conditions. We're looking at about 20-degree track temp. We should be fairly stable, I would think. Wear is really rough here. Okay. Oh, fine. After 20 minutes, they were sliding, running 90 plus degrees though. Interesting. Front left dies. Don't know if they would. Well, they should be able to make it the full 45, just maybe not optimally. But yeah. Interesting. Okay.
But we might now start to see, as Grumpy has stated, the front left dies in the Camaro. Are we seeing that front left die now in John Hawley's Camaro, as James Reed it looks like he's catching up to him a little bit. He gained almost 0.4 of a second on him last lap.
Of course, that is where most of the wear going there through that first corner, that you're putting so much wear on the left-hand side of your tires. And as well, this track, of course, is 16 corners, 9 to the right and 7 to the left, meaning that that left side getting worn just that little bit more. So, fair enough. I misjudged the tire wear here, but we see Jeff Franks and Tanner Masters go another lap.
And actually, just looking at the timing, Ali Raz's last lap was a 154.057, and James Reed in that KTM lawnmower did a 154.97, only 0.04 of a second off of our leader right now. So we're starting to see the tire wear come into play, I think, and the KTM might be a little bit better on that front.
Very interesting. We might have found the one thing that the KTM is good at. The Grumpy confirming that, actually, as I say that. So fair enough. Yeah, 2,400 pounds, not much weight being put on the tires. Of course, that's on an empty tank without any fuel, or without any driver. And yeah, it's Campo. So now we're actually running the LFM BOP tonight. I was going to say the other one, but no, it is the LFM BOP that we are running. So a little bit more balanced in terms of course, I know when we were watching which I had the pleasure of commentating the grand finals, we saw in the GT4 category, there were, out of I think 20 something cars, 2 of them were not Alpines. One was an AMG and the other one was a Maserati or something like. I think it was a Maz was the other car.
Yep.
So the Alpine was, of course, or is currently in the non-BOP form, one of the more dominant cars, along with that Porsche, the Porsche being probably the second most dominant car. So we're seeing a bit more variety here tonight with that BOP put in place, and the Camaro looking very strong at Barcelona.
Yeah, it's looking very strong, but I'm honestly thinking that Reed might have John Hawley's number. He's able to keep up, and I'm keeping an eye on the pit times once again as we just had Ali Raza come in. Ali Raza opting for tires, 32-second stop.
Yeah, it seems like everybody is going to opt for tires here tonight. I think I was most certainly wrong in my strategy, and I would have been put to the back of the grid.
So far, Darren Thomas, Professor Kernotis, Zane Blisket are the only drivers who have pitted and have not opted for those tires yet. So we do have some takers of the no tire strategy, and we're going to see how new tires versus old tires really plays out.
Jeff Franks now on the back of Tanner Masters. Neither of these guys have made a pit stop.
James Reed almost looking to make a move coming through Chicane Rock.
I gotta say,
unfortunately,
James Pierre Reed
he just does not have that speed though. That top line speed.
You're absolutely right, Steven. And I gotta say, James Pierre Reed in this championship is such a awesome addition. He is one to put that challenge to Ali Raza, as you had mentioned earlier. But I find it fascinating that he picked the KTM. Out of Ali Raza, of course, not in machinery that's too familiar with him either, to be fair. I don't think he has driven the AMG that often at all. In fact, he's not really the most comfortable. I know I've talked to them before, just in general with GT4s. He's obviously more of the bread and butter guy with a GT3. But it is to be said, James Pierre Reed is not quite quick enough, and it's not on his fault either.
Yeah. And we now have James Reed and John Hawley coming up to a back marker coming through Compass.
Okay. That's
James
not...
Reed, James Reed dipping a tire into the sand.
He is wasting no time.
No, he's not. But before coming through Renault, I saw John Hawley sending it out wide, so that front left is not getting the grip that he needs to keep that car on track. And it looks like he might be looking to come in to get those tires changed. Does John Hawley come into the pits? He does. So John Hawley into the pits. I am for certain he's going to be taking tires.
JP Reed way more confident into the pits there. I'd be interested. I don't think he picked up a speeding in the pit lane, but definitely gaining on to John Hawley in the pits there. We also have confirmation from Eric in chat here. JB is actually Darren's neighbor driving from Australia. So wait a second. JP, excuse me. So do you mean that he lives in Taiwan, or does he live in Australia? I'm very confused.
That is a little confusing, yes.
But as we wait for that response, Darren Thomas himself, he's going to be down in 8th. Lives in Australia. It's actually Darren's neighbor driving from... How? Okay, Jacob gets it. I'm just slow, I guess.
Right, so... Quinn Smith was stopped for a very long time, 36 seconds. I hope nothing went wrong, but Reed not taking the tires is now going to be out ahead of John Hawley. John Hawley was in there for tires for 35 seconds. So Reed now has about a 5-second lead, or actually almost an 8-second lead ahead of John Hawley. He made the pass in the pits.
Australia is close to Taiwan, says Eric. Eric, I hate to break it to you, but have you looked at a map? Or a globe? It's in a different hemisphere. It's not that close, Eric. It's very far away.
Hawley was the one who sped into the pit lane. He's got to stop go 30.
No. He even looked like he took it cautious in too. That's the worst part. He must have...
He did.
Interesting. Well, that's going to cost him massively. And now this, everybody, is why you practice your pit entries. Okay,
and your pit exit. Because if you hit that button too early, you'll still get it as well. Oh, you hate to see that.
Absolutely. Man, John Hawley was on such a good result. That's going to plummet him down the field. And as the result there, he probably will fall down to P10, maybe even down to P13, probably down to P13 with Aaron Miller. Wonder if it was a pit lane. Yeah, it could be a pit lane exit. Definitely seems slow on entry. I will agree with you there. Maybe shifted up too early in the pit lane into second, like what Jacob's saying there.
Mm-hmm. Or he could have gotten his speed down, started hitting the pit limiter, but he was still in second gear. And some of these cars do not allow you to go into pit lane or pit mode in second gear. As we now have a four-way battle brewing right now for P8 with Potts-Weaver the leading car. Potts-Weaver is followed closely by Casey Schutte, George Elmer, and Reggie King. Now, Casey Schutte has fresher tires, or is on fresh tires. I don't know if Potts took tires or not. Potts-Weaver did take tires, so he's on fresh tires as well, but Casey Schutte's on an older set, as Potts came in a little bit later.
Chad, it's okay. I know that it's kind of close. I just wanted to flame Eric. And yes, it is. It is also 5,500 kilometers, I think, not miles, but yeah. So it's like the distance of the United States, roughly. A little bit shorter than that, I think. I think the U.S. is like what, 7,000, something like that. I can't remember.
All right, so all pit stops have been made now, and majority of the field did opt for tires.
George Elmer trying to work his way by Potts-Weaver at this stage of the race. Potts has shown a stellar drive so far. He's held his ground, remained in P9 the entirety of this race. Now defending, though, from the likes of George Elmer, who's up 3 positions behind. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. German in America will never get used to miles and kilometers. An American in America will never get used to kilometers and miles. Why can't we just agree on one? I don't care which, to be fair. Let's just agree on one.
Alrighty, let's take a look a little bit. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the data again. I'm a very data-oriented person.
You know, one fun bit of data that I haven't spread to this entire race, which is actually fascinating. The top speed of the fastest car in a straight line through the speed trap is the McLaren 560 by, well, 5 cars. Currently, fastest in the speed trap is the McLaren, second fastest the McLaren, third the McLaren, fourth the McLaren, and fifth the McLaren. So even with those BOP changes, I know the McLaren is extremely quick without. Now, even still with, it looks even better because John Hawley actually 5 kph slower through the speed trap with that Camaro.
Yeah, so looking at it, the cars that did take tires are running about a second faster than the cars that did not. So that's every lap you're gaining 1 second on a car that did not change tires. That is pivotal to outcomes in this race. That 1 second gain over the 5 second loss.
And JP Reed, he did not take tires himself, so as you mentioned earlier, somebody in chat I think mentioned, going for that gamble to try to pay off that extra 5 seconds, it does not seem that it has worked. Quinn Smith still ahead and going to be just gaining time, a second a lap on him. Yes.
Yeah, but he's still lapping. His last lap was a 154.9. Darren Thomas, who is behind him, who did not take tires. Okay. Darren Thomas did not take tires. So they're roughly around where they're going to be. Casey Schutte, I believe, is the first person after, Freeman is the first person after Reed who has taken tires. And Freeman is lapping 155 evens. And Casey Schutte is a little bit faster than Alex Freeman. So I have a feeling we're going to see a battle in the next few laps between Casey Schutte and Alex Freeman, and potentially Professor Commentators, as both Freeman and Schutte are catching him.
And also, Grumpy Geriatric Gamer pointing out in chat that BOP doesn't really affect top speed. You're absolutely right, since weight it's about the load through the corners rather than on a straight line. So yes, thank you. That is a very good point. Couldn't calculate from Antarctica to Australia. Isn't Antarctica like, I mean, I don't want to say like huge, but huge? I know it's the biggest desert in the world. But beyond that, I don't know much about it. I know polar bears live there and penguins, but that's about it.
And Potts Weaver and Reggie King are battling it out coming out of New Holland. Potts Weaver having that speed advantage on the straight is definitely helping him as he's pulled away from Reggie King. But I think Reggie King's just a little bit faster going through the corners.
I gotta say, we do have some pretty cars in this race, and yes, Jacob, in case you didn't know, Antarctica is in fact a desert. I can't remember why, but there is a technical, yeah, it's completely dry. There's another reason. It's due to, like, I can't remember the actual, there's a couple reasons, but it's all scientific and boring and nobody cares, so.
I care.
Well, you know, Steven, that's okay. We can go over it later. It's annual precipitation, that's what it is. Yes, thank you, that sounds right. Because the soil doesn't actually get participated. That's why freeways are deserts. But once again, nobody asked. Kronotis trying to get by Jan Roderick, so far not really finding that opportunity that he's been looking for. He's been working his way left and right, and it seems the pace is there for Chrono, half a second quicker last lap, but not able to deliver that killing blow. And with 7 minutes and 25 seconds left, definitely running out of time. Still a few close battles as well, though, on track.
Definitely running out of time, but looking in the rear view now, Alex Freeman and Casey Schutte are definitely gaining on them. And we might see Casey Schutte get back up into his P6 home position.
He definitely could. It's very much on the cards for him tonight. Flash of the headlights from downtown. I think that's a bit of an optimistic one if he's trying to get into the head here of Alex Freeman.
Yep, definitely trying to play those mind games, which...
Wow.
Ooh,
close. I thought he was going for it.
Very close. Very close. Does he have a look on the inside? He is moving for the inside move. But Freeman just shuts the door.
Yeah, closes that one, not giving Casey the light of day, which is exactly what he needs to do, but this is going to get exhausting. Casey is really going to be forcing Alex into the part of the track that he doesn't want to be on.
There it is.
And that's it, exactly. He will have the inside line for the next corner, and they should be done and dusted. And it is.
Now coming up into Compsa. And down into the back straight. He's got the speed and he's got the cornering in that Aston Martin to allow him to get around. Now all he needs to worry about is catching up to Professor Kernodis and Jan Roderick's to try and gain 2 more positions before the end of this race.
Realistically, Casey only needs to gain 1, and I think he'll be a happy man. He's told me about his endeavors in the non-season of how many P6s he's managed to land, and every time he does, so it's quite fun. And AV6 Scott saying there as well, great to see that the close racing here tonight, and yeah, the BOP seems to have shaken things up. Absolutely. Seems that every car has a bit of a chance here tonight, even the KTM.
Yeah, I just watched Jeff Franks make a move on Masters for P16, and Masters is now under threat from Justin Beachley.
Yeah, also up ahead of them, Milos Tansky is under massive threat from John Hawley. The planet Earth is weighing down on his shoulders quite literally.
That was a good one.
Thank you, I thought so. Is going to be looking now to the inside. No, he isn't going to go for it. That you can go for it there, but it's so risky as, of course, it turns from back to, or from left to right. The Camaro is twice the size of that Alpine. That's just standard practice. You can see now it's going to go side by side, and John Hawley onto the inside. He should have this move pretty much done by the time we even reach the braking zone, before we even reach the braking zone, in fact. Fairly easy overtake there. Milos Tansky just with a lot less drive out of that corner. This is the 3-way fight here between Tanner Masters, Jeff Franks, and Justin Beachley. That's Tanner onto the inside. Jeff gonna be going to the center of the track, way too deep for Tanner. I think Tanner should definitely hand that position back. And he does. Nicely done. Respectful driving there from Tanner Masters. And he is going to hand both of them back, it looks like. But he's not done. Comes right back at it.
And it looks like he made the move cleanly that time.
Jeff, though, not giving up the position. He is going to be forced to the very unfavorable line, though, at this stage, and have to give that one up. Whoa. Definitely, Jeff. Oh, my goodness. Justin Beachley, I think that is. No, that's Dan Brace. No, it's not. Who is that?
No, that's Ali Raza.
That's Ali Raza, our race leader, who is...
having to check up.
Wow, that was close.
Ooh.
Jeff gonna be kicking himself a little bit for that one. Definitely, I think he recognized that he was the one at fault for that and hands the positions back immediately, but that almost caused some massive chaos. Thankfully, it didn't.
Yes, it did, and we now have Casey Schutte in slipstream range of Professor Kernodis and Jan Roderick's, and those fresher tires are really paying off right now for him.
Whew. Looks like Jan gonna be off of that now. We check back with Casey. What does he have? The Reckless Racing GT4. The T-Swizzle 2022, again, one of the fan favorites out there. Needs an update, though, Chrono. If you're watching, it needs an update. It's still a great livery.
I have actually never seen that livery.
Really? We can change that.
I've seen it through the racing, but I've never actually had a copy of that livery for me to actually sit down and look at.
Oh, he's never uploaded it?
No.
Yeah, this is a pretty ancient livery, so it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, Chrono, I'll get him on that. He should upload that, because everybody should see the glory of the T-Swizzle 2022.
T-Swizzle.
AC Schutte, though. 1 lap to go here. Or does he?
Can he make the move?
You know what? 2 laps to go, I think, actually. It's going to be close. but 2 laps to go.
Ali Raza is just now coming out of Kampsa.
I think they should hit the line with about 5 seconds left.
Yeah, it's going to be very close.
So if Ali Raza lifts, he could he could end this race on this lap, but I think there will be one more.
And that back marker getting out of the way, allowing Ali Raza free reign. Now, does Raza slam on the brakes to slow down to... No, he's got 24 seconds. He's going to have to go for it.
I don't see any. Absolutely no way he will be making that one happen. So 1 more lap to go. We will be reaching that white flag lap. Chronotis dancing with death here, down defending the inside as Casey Schutte trying to attack the out. Switchback attempt, not going to happen. As Jan Roderick's actually being a bit of a thorn in the side here for the likes of Chronotis.
Yeah, Jan is just holding back Chronotis right now. Chrono just can't get around him and has really now opened the door up for Casey Schutte to try and make a move as he's trying for the outside to potentially have a better run on the second part of the chicane. Runs a little bit wide. That might have been a track limit warning. But he looks like he might have the straight line speed as he's now got his nose up onto the corner panel of Chronotis. They're now side by side, door to door. Casey Schutte on the outside, a little bit wide on the entry, but makes the pass stick as Chrono tries to run that outside line to get a better apex. But I don't think he's got the tires.
Casey Schutte has taken his rightful position. Can he hold it? Or will he gain one more? That's going to be tough. Jan Roderick's is already quite a bit of ways, and there's really only one more opportunity. And Casey needs some P6 energy from one Bigley. You love to see it. Let's give Casey some energy in chat, everybody, as he is going to need it to hold this P6. Behind him, George Elmer and Alex Freeman. They're having their little bout as well.
Yeah. And Milo Stansky is trying to get around Zane Blisket, but I don't think he's close enough to make an attempt on this final lap. As Ali Raza comes across the line as our P1 winner, Quinn Smith 7 seconds behind, and James Reed, JP Reed coming in third.
You predicted the 1-2 from JP and Ollie, no particular order. Unfortunately, the KTM just not able to deliver that. Darren Thomas in 4th position, the second of our alternate strategy runners, no tires taken. It seems that paid off for Darren quite well. Jan Roderick's going to be coming home in 5th with Casey Schutte behind in 6th, but this is going to be a battle to the line. It looks like it will finish in that order with Chronotis behind them in P7. George Elmer going to be rounding home for P8. Alex Freeman in 9th. Potts Weaver side by side here. We're going to go side by side to the line.
It's going to be a drag race.
As a photo finish, Potts Weaver gets it.
Potts Weaver has it because of that McLaren's straight line speed.
You know how he's pulling that pace out of the Merc? The answer is much better driving. Yes, Scott. The answer is Ollie Raza. Yeah. I think it's track conditions.
Whoa, as Jeff Frank spun out.
Oh, no.
Right, coming out of Europe car. But rejoins safely. And John Hawley now comes across the line. Milos, Zane, and Jeff Franks are our last 2 drivers to come across the line. And that is race over.
Excellent. As we head back to the booth now, everybody, welcome back. We're going to be trying to land some driver interviews, and holy smokes, thank you so much, Mason Pershelsky. Is that right, Mason? Please tell me that's right. If it's not, please tell me I'm wrong, but Mason Pershelsky. You had to hear it one more time. You had to give us money, so thank you so much for the sub. Had to give us money just to hear the name. Fair enough. Fair enough. As we have it, we're just going to be waiting for Ollie Raza, Quinn Smith, and JP Reed. We should be able to get all three of these drivers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
Let's
so
see.
we need Ollie Raza, Quinn Smith, and JP Reed to the green room.
As it looks like all of them are in the Discord. Lovely. So let's grab JP Reed. Oops, I grabbed him into the... Okay, well, hey, JP. I didn't mean to grab you into here, but I guess we're starting with you. Steven, why don't you take it away?
All right, mate.
JP, I predicted you were going to be doing really good in that KTM, and you delivered with a P3 finish.
Hold that thought real quick. Sorry to interrupt on that one, but Mason, absolute freaking legend, dropping 5 gift subs. Mason Perchelski. We'll get that name eventually. Probably not. Thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so James, very good race, very clean race from you. I saw that you had a little bit of a rough start there, but you made it through, keeping to the back bumper of Jay Hawley all race, and then opting for the tires. What was going through your mind throughout this entire race?
No, I actually didn't take tires in the stop. There was a no tire change, so the whole 45 minutes on the one set.
Oh, yeah.
The start was very difficult. Unfortunately, that little 2-stroke motorbike engine's got nothing compared to that American muscle on the start. So I tried to get straight into the slipstream of Raza, but there was no chance, because by the time we got down to turn 1, I think it was already back in 5th. That was just all the legs this little thing has on it. And from that point, it was just trying to see if I could stay with Hawley ahead. And I'm not sure if he took a tire change in the pits or not, but it was, I think, fortunate for me that he got his penalty. If he took tires, I don't think I would have been able to stay in front, because the guys in first and second, they must have taken tires because they were so fast in that second stint. But it was a lot of fun. And someone's got to be out there representing the KTM.
Yes, and you definitely delivered on that. Very good race from you. You have anything, Mike?
Yeah, just to update you on that, because you are curious, John Hawley, he did in fact take tires along with Quinn Smith and Ollie Raza. So you are actually the first of the alternate strategy runners. Darren Thomas behind you also not taking tires.
Figured that would be the case. Yeah, looking at the pace of Smith ahead, I think he got 10 seconds on that last 20 minutes, so there's no chance I would have been able to hold Hawley.
Yeah, absolutely flying. As we have it, JP Reed, thank you very much. P3, James Pierre Reed, see you next week. And honestly, JP, I can't believe you're representing the KTM, and more power to you for that one. Thank you very much. Anyone you'd like to thank before you head on out?
Oh, just the whole TRACKILICIOUS community again. You guys have been fantastic, so keep at it, and I'll stick around.
Awesome, thank you very much. As we have it, next up, it will be Quinn Smith.
Good evening, Quinn. You had a really good start there with that Camaro. Opting for the tires definitely was the option. How was your race going for you, man?
Went really good, honestly. No complaints from anything. I'm not sure what happened to Dan there. I was kind of looking forward to that battle, but yeah, it was a good race. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, from what we saw, it actually looked like an actual engine failure for Dan Brace.
Oh.
So
yeah, it looked like he downshifted into second, heading into sector 2 there, and locked up that rear axle, and his engine went kapooey very, very quickly.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
yeah, but that gave you the P2 position. Was there anything really amazing about the race that you want to share with us?
Yeah, just obviously the BOP helps with the pace of the Camaro. It's there. You know, if I probably didn't spend the first couple laps fighting with Dan, I could have had a chance to stay with Ollie in the first few laps. But you know, it is what it is. And you take what you take, get what you get.
Yes, indeed. You have anything, Mike?
No, I mean, anyone you'd like to thank for your podium here tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to you guys. You know, just holding these events, taking the time out of your days, your free life outside of here. You know, without you guys, we wouldn't be here having fun with each other.
Well, same goes for you as well, so thank you.
Yep, thank you.
And last but not least, of course, our race winner, Ollie Raza.
Ollie.
Yes.
Kind of ran away with this one early on because of the kerfuffle that was going on behind you. So, and then towards the end, you almost got taken out by a couple of back markers coming through seat. Come on and tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning I got a little lucky because Dan and Quinn were fighting. In a way, actually, when we first started, I was trying to give Quinn a little bit of tow because he was starting like P5 or something. So I kind of gave him a little bit of tow, and he got straight to P2 right off the first corner. And then they were fighting, and I mean, to be honest, most of my race was just a hot lap session. But you know, I'm glad I got the win. In the end, yeah, I caught up with some people who were fighting, so I didn't want to mess up their battle, but it seemed like they already messed each other up. So I was just like, oh, let me just scoot by here. And then, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, but now you're coming home with that P1 first win of the GT4 Open Series. Congratulations, buddy. You have anybody you want to thank tonight?
No, thank you. Thank you for you guys for commentating, and Eric as well, because he was moving around, moving servers, and it was a mess, and he managed to make everything work. So thanks to him, it all worked out today, because it was gonna be a disaster.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Ollie. And of course, thank you to Chrono as well. I'm assuming Chrono, I'm just going to make the assumption that Chrono also fixed the servers, but yeah, thank you to Chrono and the admin team as well for that. John Hawley, thank you. Thank you all so much. It's been a lovely stream. First race of the GT4 Open and GT4 Rookie Series. We'll be back next week, of course. Big thank you to Stephen Tomazic as well for joining me. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me once again, Mike, in this lovely double series that we got going on here on Monday nights.
Yeah, so much fun. As we have it, we are going to be rating, let's not forget that, we are going to be rating the young Jacob Wells. You know it. You know who he is, let's be honest. Definitely head on over, say hi, chill with him for a little bit, because who doesn't want to go and chill with the young Jacob Wells? And make sure you guys tell him he's young. He's a very young kid, so... Thank you all so much. We'll be back to Wednesday for Syntho Drive, so do tune in for that. And until then, thank you all so much. Hope you all have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. Thank you, and good night.
See ya.